for 3 people. I remember you played
back when I used to.
I remember you played Barrister's Tavern, and there was literally not one person there.
Is that the one up on the hill, the old Days Inn or whatever?
I loved it because I was literally across the street. My house, my apartment was right there, and I was like, but then I was like, ooh, and even though there's nobody there, everybody smoked, and I was just like, this is ridiculous.
I thought about you when I. Let me set this up first.
All right, here we go.
Thought about Rockstar when I was watching Baby Reindeer.
Okay.
All right.
Because
let's expand that thought.
Yeah, if anybody's seen it, they're going to want to know why. You've seen it, haven't you, Tyler?
I haven't. I've just heard,
I know
heard
Scott,
what happens in it.
Scott in the back has seen it. So when he starts doing his stand-up comedy, he's going in a bar and basically making them turn the televisions off of the soccer matches where he can do comedy. Nobody wants to see him.
Oh, that's even better. That'll make people more happy.
And he has to build this up. But, the first, I don't know how many times, he's doing it basically to nobody. And he's standing there with a tip jar at the end, and nobody's giving him anything.
Aww.
It reminded me of me.
And it reminded me, wait.
Well, no, I mean, when Rockstar, we were doing a show, and, it was a smaller following on Jocks, 20 years ago. And so he was out, still trying to make his way as a musician and earn, make ends meet. And he was just playing any venue you could go to. And, there's a lot of times people they didn't care anything about live music.
Yeah.
I've had people put the chairs on the bars, staff starting to wipe tables down. I'm still playing. I've got to tell me to get up so he can sweep beneath my legs while I'm playing.
What?
Yeah, you play a lot of nothings. A lot of dress rehearsals is what I call them.
Yeah, we went to Floribama recently. Speaking of the Floribama.
Speaking of which, they bring you this.
Yeah, I met Steve and Patty across at Old River Grill. And when we met them, when we had just gotten in town, they wanted to go see this one musician, and they were the only 2 people sitting there under Old River Grill, and this is like a Thursday night.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, now maybe it built after that. We stayed for like 30 minutes, but we were the only people there, so musicians do it all the time.
That's uncomfortable.
But Big Earl, I guarantee you it will be packed for Big Earl tonight at 5:30 on the Dome stage, tomorrow night at 5:30. Remember the 4th of July, Miss Firecracker Bikini Contest, 3 o'clock, 4-mile run, 1-mile walk. Ladies can register online, floribama.com, for a chance to win $500 and compete Labor Day weekend for $5,000. Bushwhackers waiting on you. Floribama.com, more information.
Great job, Rockstar. Thank you, Floribama. We end the show with a bit of breaking news on the recruiting side. 4-star running back Alvin Henderson has flipped his commitment from Penn State to Auburn. According to all the recruiting sites, he's a 4-star running back that has flipped from Penn State to Auburn.
Yo, I see ya.
He sees those tweets. That's Alvin Henderson going to be an Auburn Tiger. Thank you for a great week of the next round. We will be out at Trustville Social. Come by and see us 3 to 5 this afternoon. Trustville Social, 3 to 5. If you can't be there, be back here 9 o'clock Monday. We'll see you. Have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us on the next round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Jim Dunaway. Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Scotty Scheffler did it again. We've got a Game 7 in hockey, and the College World Series goes to a winner wins the national championship game tonight. But we'll start with our buddy Clay Travis, who's in Omaha and spending a lot of money. You guys are good on math. $5 Jell-O shots. Here's Clay last night, or yesterday afternoon, with the sunlight outside in Omaha. After Tennessee stays alive, he buys 1,000 $5 orange Jell-O shots to get Tennessee back in the lead, slightly over Texas A&M. Rumor has it he bought a bunch of shots to get them back into the competition before Game 1. Clay is dropping money on Jell-O shots in Omaha, and Tennessee is still alive.
Yeah, Tennessee's alive. Winner take all tonight. One of these teams will win their first national championship in baseball. And look, Clay, we've known this about Clay forever. He likes to sling that money around.
He does not mind letting you know he's got $1.
Rumor has it he bought 5,000 $5 shots to get him back in to the competition, but I didn't see video of that. I only saw video of him buying 1,000.
All I know is the winner here is the dude that owns that bar.
Rocco's.
Yeah, I know they say they give a lot to charity.
They do, I'm sure.
But
Yeah,
those things cost about 5 cents to make.
Nobody wanted to see a Game 3 in this series more than Rocco.
27,422 last check, Texas A&M. 27,008 for Tennessee. You would imagine the winners roll in there and win this thing tonight, right?
I would think so, yeah. Party at the bar.
If Rocco's is open afterwards.
Oh, I bet.
The after party tonight.
I guarantee you Rocco's is open afterwards.
I mean, so what is that, $400,000 about? Just quick math on all those Jell-O shots for every team?
So what do you think Rocco has in a Jell-O shot?
Like I was saying, 5 cents.
5 cents, you think?
And it's so weird. This came up, and it had nothing to do with the College World Series, but Jell-O shots, for whatever reason, came up a couple of days ago at my house, people at the pool. And we were talking about, like, you know, when you're younger, it seems like a good idea to do a Jell-O shot. But, like, I don't even know what it does for you at this age. Like, I don't think you get a buzz off a Jell-O shot.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you do vodka? Or
yeah, vodka.
You can't do pure grain alcohol, right?
I mean, you can, yeah.
What do you say you can?
Because you're not
illegally?
freezing it. It's a gel process.
I was just wondering, would it keep it soupy?
It would be the same as vodka. Maybe a little more soupy. Yeah. But yeah, you could do it. I don't know why you'd want to do it.
But that would make it a little bit more intense, right?
Yeah. But we used to so Bethany back in the day, we would have all these parties. You guys might have come to some, maybe not, Rockstar maybe. But it would always be color coordinated. So if it was a Rams party, we would have Jell-O shots that were yellow and blue.
Right.
Lakers, we would have, the grape and the yellow.
I think we came one time in a Christmas party, and you had
green and red.
Green and red ones.
Yeah. We used to do the Jell-O shots a lot. Again, just pain in the ass, not worth it.
Yeah,
but for Rocco it is.
Yeah, for Rocco, well worth it. It's weird that, I guess it was last year was the first time I've even heard of this contest. I don't know if they've been doing it for a long time.
Oh, yeah, they've been doing it a while. It's been 2 or 3 years I heard of it.
Yeah, maybe it was 2 years ago. I can't remember the one that just went crazy. But, I mean, Rocco has stumbled into a great business plan here.
Yeah, it's almost like, I wonder if anybody's copied this. Like, if Alabama was hosting a super regional, why would Innisfree not do this?
That's right. Jell-O shots at Innisfree and have a big board.
If Auburn's hosting one, Sky Bar. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't just try to, emulate, basically plagiarize this whole thing.
I'll find Rocco's charity of choice, and I'll donate there, too.
Surely he doesn't have it copyrighted or whatever a patent on this
I don't think you can patent a Jell-O shot.
So let me ask you.
And Jell-O making out, too, because I don't know how big Jell-O is. I mean, when's the last time you guys... Like, I remember as a kid, when we had an entire aisle that was for Jell-O and Kool-Aid, Jell-O was like a cool dessert, but there's so many options now. I can't remember the last time somebody was like, here's some Jell-O.
Well, I'll tell you exactly the last time I had Jell-O. That was not a Jell-O shot. I think I've woofed down a Jell-O shot somewhere since then. But when my butt exploded after the 2017 Iron Bowl, and I had to have surgery in the hospital. That's the only place when I think of Jell-O, I think of hospital meals. Yeah, it's the dessert of choice.
I think retirement homes, hospitals, I think they still have, that's one of the main cogs on the menu.
I think school lunchroom. We used to have it for dessert at Saks sack schools.
You know, we're doing
they'd
6
have
to
a little
10.
square of it.
I was going to lunch with Jack 3 days a week.
Yeah.
I never saw Jell-O.
Yeah, they used to when I was there. They would just plop a little square of it down in one of the tray squares. That was your dessert.
Rice Krispie treat, much better than the Jell-O. I hated my school. They put little pieces of fruit in it. Did your school ever do that?
No. And the Jell-O?
That's crime against humanity.
Yeah, that was protein for you guys.
Rice Krispie treat, I could take or leave. The problem with the Rice Krispie treat is it gets all over your hands. They're so sticky and gooey. I'm not a big Rice Krispie treat guy. I don't know if you like them.
I didn't like regular Rice Krispies, but the way they made them in school with the peanut butter.
That's right. That's
those
right.
were the good ones.
How come we can't get that in the wild now? Why is it always marshmallow?
I think the Rice Krispie treat's kind of dead too.
Yeah, but I appreciated the peanut butter one they put together in the Mud Puddle School back in the day.
Laura, I did have Jell-O when I got to town.
Oh,
I
good.
do remember that. There was only a few things I could eat. Applesauce, Jell-O.
And I forget who it was, flew by over in the chat room so fast over there, talked about diet Jell-Os are clutch for him when he's dieting over there. So.
Isn't Jell-O good for the nails and the hair?
Really?
I've always heard that.
It's got collagen in it?
Oh, good word, collagen.
Yeah, you're welcome. I don't even know if that was the word you're supposed to use.
So were you lying on television last night on the Zone ABC 3340, or are you really excited about this game tonight?
I'm excited about this game tonight, yeah.
Because you don't come across as a baseball guy, but you said last night on your television appearance on ABC 3340 that you were so looking forward to this game tonight.
Yeah, I think it'd be
I
thought
to myself, are you really?
Well, all right, you tell me what else you're going to watch.
Game 7 of the NHL.
I'd rather watch Tennessee and Texas A&M than hockey.
That's a good 2 TV night. For
No,
June.
I'll probably watch both, but given if you said no, you only got one TV and you can only make the one choice, I would absolutely go Tennessee and Texas A&M over hockey.
I know A&M's never won one of these, but it seems like all the pressure is on Tennessee.
And that's kind of part of it.
In hockey, Florida, if you're going to blow an 0-3, first time this happened since 1942. When the Maple Leafs knocked off Detroit.
Yeah.
1942, a long time ago. You don't blow 0-3 leads in best of sevens.
Yeah. It doesn't seem
so
like
I'm fascinated by this, especially the way Connor McDavid's playing right now.
You get you don't get many deciding walk-off games apparently, and in June we've got 2 of them on a Monday night.
I know, pretty rare.
You can fire up the sports room tonight, turn on the TVs, and sit there and have 2 really good ones. Early start, 6 o'clock ESPN for baseball. You get an hour of that before the hockey drops the puck. So baseball, hockey could end at the same time. You could have confetti flying in both places at about the same time in Omaha and down in Miami. We'll talk about that Stanley Cup Game 7 and a lot more after LT tells us about our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. A little relaxing before the winner-take-all games tonight. You can go out there this afternoon, jump in there, get a nice massage, and a lot more. I know EG and Little T talked a couple of weeks ago about their love for Woodhouse, and you've been familiar with this place a long time.
Yeah, awesome place. If you want to give the gift of relaxation, you can do it. From Birmingham's best day spa, the Woodhouse Day Spa, located at the Summit Shopping Center, is right up for Highway 280. Choose from a menu of over 70 options, including massages, body treatments, skincare, waxing, nail services. Woodhouse Day Spa, voted America's best day spa since 2009. You can order that special person gift online 24/7. Go to birmingham.woodhousespas.com. That's birmingham.woodhousespas.com. Or just stop by, see Stewart and the great staff located at the Summit Shopping Center, and make sure you tell Woodhouse the next round sent you.
Alabama and Auburn recruiting coming up in segment number 2 this morning. As you look ahead, later on, Trey Wallace will join us from Omaha, the deciding Game 3 tonight. He's there for the SEC battle. They'll get the trophy again. By the way, the SEC's won the last 4 national championships in 5 of the last 6 in college baseball. Little T working on a graphic for sometime later today on just how dominant the SEC has been in all major sports. You know that. We know that. That's why we love the SEC. We'll talk about that later in the show. But in the Stanley Cup tonight, so much is on the line. To back up what LT was saying, in Game 7s, after a 3-0 lead by one team, the NHL, the team that won the first 3 games, are 206-4. In the NBA, it is 157-0. And in Major League Baseball, it is 39-1.
Okay, so just so I heard you right, if it is 3-0 and it makes a Game 7,
That's
the
right.
team that was up 3-0 wins the vast majority of these.
And LT, I'm not even thinking this is not just the finals. This is anywhere in the playoffs.
It would have to be with those size of the numbers.
Yeah, maybe. I know in the NBA best 7, 152 was the number coming into this this postseason.
So we must have had several 3-0s that went 157-0.
Yeah.
Major League Baseball 39-1. Is that the Red Sox Yankees?
Yep. Red Sox Yankees. 04.
Yeah.
I think it was 04.
And then the NHL is 206-4 all time, and as LT said, not since 1942. So this is unique. So biggest choke or best comeback if Edmonton wins?
Yes is the answer.
You're going to do a combination of both. But, I saw a graphic today that after Game 3, going into Game 4, Connor McDavid was plus 1,800 to win the Conn Smythe, which is the most valuable player in the Stanley Cup Finals. He is now minus 5,000. So win or lose, he's taking home that trophy tonight. But the last 3 games, they get down 3-0, and they have dominated. They've outscored the Florida Panthers 18-5 over the last 3 games. So you just wonder mentally where Florida is coming into this game. Florida, slight favorite. We got this available at lanceslog.com.
Little ice pick for you, huh?
Yeah, we're going to be watching.
Good, dig deep, baby. I would have guessed the numbers were opposite. I mean, doesn't it make sense that if you're up 3-0 and the other team wins 3 straight, I mean, if you didn't know anything about sports, and I am explaining this to you, and I'm saying this one team was up 3-0, and then they completely blew a 3-0 lead. Now it's 3-3. You would say, well, I want the team that has won 3 straight.
That's right.
They're playing better hockey or better baseball or better whatever. They've got the momentum, and the other team obviously is in a mental funk right now because they've blown a 3-0 lead. I mean, if I just explained it to you that way, I think the reasonable thing to say is I want the team that's won 3 straight. But that team is awful in these situations.
Yeah, I don't think my stat is 3-0 that forced a Game 7. I think this is just, or is it? It is.
Well, that's what it sounded. That's
No,
the way you read it.
And I've got this. So only 3 teams in the history of the Stanley Cup Finals have been down 0-3 and come back to tie it up.
Just to get a Game 7.
Yeah, just to get a Game 7. And the last one to win that Game 7 was 1942.
Yeah, so I guess this is all playoffs. It's just your point, Brown, is.
But also at stake is a Canadian team in Edmonton winning a cup.
Since
the
forever.
last time, 1990.
It was like 92, 93. I was in high school at the time.
93 in the Canadians.
It was
I believe.
Canadians, yeah.
In high school at the time.
So your point, Brown, is you're up 3-0, and then all of a sudden you're starting to crap the bed and/or the other team figures something out. They've won 3 straight. It does seem like Edmonton would have the momentum tonight.
I mean, if I separate you from the stat you just gave, and I take somebody that doesn't know a ton about sports and I explain that to them, the reasonable thing to think would be the team that's won 3 straight would absolutely win that 4th game, because the other team, like you said, has crapped the bed. They have now lost 3 straight games. They have got to be reeling mentally. And the other team is obviously playing really well. Now, the other factor is home ice, which is what Florida will have tonight.
Well, and Florida's got a great record at home.
Yeah. So, I mean, you do have to factor that into that stat, which, when you force that Game 7 is who's got the home ice or home field or whatever, that's obviously going to impact it.
Yeah. It's never happened in a World Series. It's never happened in any round of the NBA playoffs. And as LT said, 1942, the last time it happened in the Stanley Cup. That's 7 o'clock ABC tonight. The College World Series is 6 o'clock ESPN tonight, and we crown a couple of champions this evening. And then there's a champion in the works, and we've got to get to this in the opening segment. Scotty Scheffler, who I was telling Brown pre-show that I am walking through a field of landmines trying to navigate a stake win after he won the Masters. LT had a stake on him winning another major this year. He's winning everything but, and I believe if not for being locked up in jail briefly in Louisville, he probably wins the PGA Championship. He finished 8th. Not so good at the U.S. Open. He still has a British Open to go, but in his last 10 starts, he's won 6.
All he does is win.
Finished tied for 2nd in another, and tied for 8th and served jail time in another. So 8 of 10, he's either won or been really in contention. The guy's winning everything, and he wins another one. This is a pretty big event. The Travelers, yesterday, he wins it again.
Well, a $20 million purse, and Brad, you tell me how big the Travelers is. I had heard of it, but what blew me away was over the weekend I had multiple people talking about golf.
Really?
Yeah. So we saw Emily, Grace, and Mikey over the weekend. They were talking about what was going on at the Travelers. Our buddy Jimmy came over yesterday. He's like, you got to have the TV on. I've got to see what Scheffler's doing. And my question to you guys, Scheffler doesn't have much of a personality. We had Dan Wetzel on last week, and he's like, he talks about his wife. He talks about God a lot, but I've got to write a story. I need a little bit more from Scheffler. But it seems like Scheffler is a major watch right now in golf.
I mean, I guess if you like golf, like I didn't watch it yesterday, and I'm a big golfer. I chose to do other things. The Travelers didn't used to be a big deal because it primarily has been right behind the U.S. Open, and most guys don't want to play right after a major. But the PGA Tour has changed things with these signature events, where there are certain events that are no cut and accelerated purses, right?
Yeah, when you can win 3.6, which Scheffler
That's right.
did yesterday, why would you take the week off?
That's going to get people's attention.
And you're going to
no cut.
And you're going to get paid regardless, even if you shoot 88 over.
Yeah.
over par.
Now, some of these signature events do have a cut. I know specifically the Bay Hill, I believe, Arnold Palmer's event, and Jack's event, the Memorial. And there's one other that does have a cut, but the other ones don't have a cut. So, yeah, I mean, you show up in Hartford, Connecticut, you're getting paid. And if you win it, you're getting paid a lot. And Scotty Scheffler, we are in June, and he has made $27 million on the PGA Tour so far.
If you round up 27.7 million.
But you talk about like you said, going from a U.S. Open to this, and the U.S. Open, such a difficult track. And then you've got a guy like Cam Young that cards a 59.
That's right.
Finishes 5 strokes back and tied for 9th.
Yeah, and
I don't know how you do that with a quality player like Cam Young to card a 59 and really just creep in the top 10.
And that's the other thing is, like, in this event, you're going to say, we got no cut, we got a ton of money. You're coming off a U.S. Open where scoring was brutal, and you're going to be able to tear this course apart. This is the bounce back for you, right? This is the rebound. So
22 under the winning score, is that right?
Yeah, exactly, in a playoff. And I mean, look, you're right, Dunaway. You're dodging landmines left and right. The good news for you is, of all the majors, that's the one he's got the worst record in.
Because it's a little Mickey Mouse for American golfers.
And I don't know if Mickey Mouse is the phrase I would use, but it is different golf. It's golf you don't get asked to play a lot in the United States.
Yeah, when is
but
that?
I don't know if you've noticed, but he can play it just about any way it's asked to be played.
July, while we're in Dallas,
I believe
is that
it is
right?
while we're at Media Days. Yeah,
SEC Media
You'll be
Days.
dodging a media day bullet.
Okay, but here's the thing I wanted to get to, because all-time earnings, not endorsements, because he's got a big one with TaylorMade and Nike and others, but he's made $27.7 million on the course this year.
Correct.
Scotty Scheffler, who just turned 28, just had a baby, he's one good tournament away from moving into top 5 all-time winnings as far as money earnings in PGA Tour history. He's not even have to win it. He's just one good purse. He's about $1 million behind Vijay Singh at 6. He's a little over $1 million behind Jim Furyk at 5. So one more win of a tournament, any tournament, and he's going to be number 5 all time in PGA earnings. And he's going to be closing in. He'll close in really quickly on who's at number 4 there. I forget who that is. But then only ahead of him is going to be Rory at 3, Phil at 2, and Tiger at 1. And everyone is saying today, because of the purses, he is a lock.
I would
Virtual
agree.
lock is the word they use, to be the PGA Tour's all-time earnings leader.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how he won't be.
Before the Travelers started on Thursday, you and I were talking about him, and we were talking about, look, if this guy stays healthy, like I already believe watching him, he's better at his best day than Phil Mickelson ever was. And if he continues on this trajectory, he's going to be a top 5 guy of all time. Now, I'm not talking about just
money
and winnings. I'm talking about stature.
He definitely has that opportunity to be. He's in the mix for every major. So, I mean, he could be a top 5, top 10 golfer all time one day. Could be. But I would agree with whoever said he's a lock to be the all-time money leader. He's a lock to be the all-time money leader.
Yeah.
The guy he's an ATM. He does nothing but cash checks. I mean, crap, his caddy is probably going to be, his caddy, Ted Scott, is probably going to be a top 30 money winner.
So
he's probably made $2.5 million this year.
What do they get, 7%?
It
10%,
depends,
right?
Yeah, it depends. There's a lot of factors. A major pays.
If you're
they
Scheffler,
probably all got different deals.
you
but
probably
Scheffler,
would ride his bag. That sounds so bad.
Wow.
For 5%, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, based on what? Yeah, that'd be $1 million right now, $1.5 million. Some of it depends on you get it more for a top 10, more for a top 10 in a major, more for a major win. So everybody's probably got different deals. You can comfortably say his caddy has made $2.5 to $3 million this year, and that is not going out on a limb.
Well, Rusty says his caddy's made more than Roy this year. Now, if you're that caddy and you're having a cocktail and you're holding court, and you're just telling people, man, I made more than Roy in a year as a caddy.
Is there a way he could, not that I'm against, pulling your fair share, but is there a way he could say, hey, let's don't worry about giving me some of the contractual earnings. Why don't you just tip me out in cash? at the end. Let's work
Tip me out.
Tip me out in cash at the end of every tournament.
Yeah, I'll take 3%.
Now, Rory has made $10 million, so he's not made more than Rory. But, I mean,
Sounded like a good story.
it would be a great story. I would guess, based on what I would guess his caddy made, his caddy would be top 50 on the PGA Tour money list right now.
Wow.
His caddy, I mean, that is just insane money.
Yeah, just to the blow your mind stat of the day here, just to put it into context. It doesn't all-time PGA earnings doesn't mean you're the greatest golfer of all time.
Nowhere close.
Even though Tiger and Phil and Rory are in discussions, Jack Nicklaus is. Do you want to take a guess where he is all-time PGA earnings? Jack Nicklaus.
I wouldn't. I don't know if he's in the top 100. That sounds crazy.
I will tell you, he's not in the top 100.
I would say $4.5 million.
Oh, his number is 5. Right below 6 million.
They're a different world back then.
So
he's 368th all time in PGA earnings. Wait, two stats here.
Now,
by the way, so Scheffler made 60% of his all-time earnings in one day yesterday on a non-major.
Yeah, exactly. Jack is 368 all time. He's 13 spots. Jack is behind Trey Wallace, local golfer.
Oh wow.
Man.
He is
Trey's been in studio.
Yeah. He is three spots behind the great Dickie Pride.
Yeah, played at Alabama.
Yeah, Dickie Pride's 3 spots ahead of Jack Nicklaus, an all-time PGA
I'll take
Tour
Jack's
winnings.
career.
Show being brought to you, speaking of golf, the great folks at Inverness Country Club. As the greatness continues at Inverness, what a great place to not only enjoy golf, but also to enjoy summer. You got springtime dining on the patio there, also pool there, and a lot more.
Yeah, pickleball, golf. I mean, they've got memberships that will fit everyone at Inverness Country Club, from the social membership with that resort-style pool complex, full-service cabana and bar, live music on Friday night, Sunday brunch, the golf, the beautiful course, currently expanding that driving range, child care. Big plus, you and your wife want a day of golf or tennis. Guess what? You can drop the kid, go have a day for yourself on the court or the course. Dinner with friends, knowing your kid is safe on site. Massive plus. Maybe you work from home. What about working from the club while they watch your kid? Whatever your interests are, you can find it at Inverness. They've even got a vineyard club there. Best days happen at Inverness. Take a tour of this unbelievable club today. Call Erin. Tell her the next round sent you. 205-991-8608. That's 205-991-8608, or online ICCalabama.com.
Okay, so Alabama and Auburn recruiting and some college football news when we come back. Later on, our 40 and 40 team today, brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag. The MyBookie chat is on fire. We'll get to some of those and the best and worst of the weekend in the next segment. We can't show you the video for legal reasons. I have not seen a good fan video of it yet. But if I told you a 75-year-old was in a 300-mile-per-hour crash yesterday, and that he was alert and was only flown to the ICU at a local hospital just to be checked out, would you be surprised?
Well, because I saw who it was, I'm not. He's the third Ryan brother, but Rex. Who's the other one?
Rex, Ryan.
Buddy, isn't it? No,
Buddy's the dad.
Rex and
what's the
Ross?
other?
No, Rob Ryan.
Rex, Rob, and this guy, they've got the same dentist, same veneers, but they all look the same.
The great John Force, who is a legend, had a funny car crash yesterday at the NHRA event. 300 miles per hour is what I saw. I find that hard to believe, but I'll go with the story. His engine blows up. He cuts across the track and makes impact with the wall on the left side. There's the engine starting to explode.
I'd say.
He shoots to the left side, hits the wall, and at that point, the car almost bends in half in a fireball, and you just think he's going to fly out of the car the other side. And then it comes back across and hits the inside wall, and he was alert before he left the track. An amazing thing.
Yeah, live your life the way you want to live it. But, at my age, I've given up pickup basketball just because I don't want to blow a knee, want to tear an ACL, really don't want to turn an ankle. It's 75. Why are you going 300 miles an hour?
At my age, turning an ankle can happen on the beach, but I understand what you're saying. Funny car racing at 75 years old. Didn't his daughter come in the studio with us one time? Wasn't she fairly attractive, and she came in studio one time?
Yeah, Ashley, I think.
She came in studio?
I thought so.
Yeah,
No, I think you're thinking of
Charlotte.
Ric Flair's daughter.
Charlotte Flair did, but I thought Ashley Forrest did something.
Maybe
with
she
us.
did.
I think it's Ashley.
Yeah, I think you're right on the name. $25 million net worth is what I saw for him. So, that's
done well.
probably the reason he's still racing at 70-something. He's still cashing checks.
Yeah. I mean, he's a name, right? All right, so that's the opening segment. When we come back, big recruiting news for Bama and Auburn. One of the Auburn ones happened as the show was ending on Friday and Rockstar was singing in the Floribama Lounge. We'll revisit the impact of that, talk about what's happening at Alabama and more college football news. And still, maybe next segment, maybe later on, as we do best and worst of the weekend, the new Jimbo Fisher. Is there one out there? Was somebody that LT can just ride for for the rest of his career, because that's what he did to Jimbo. That's straight ahead right here on the show, brought to you by our friends at Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. This is the Next Round.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from the Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie-cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Elliot in the mybookie.ag chat room, promo code next round. Elliot says, happy Monday. Nothing like a Monday after a 1 a.m. flight arrival. I cannot imagine. That is a miserable thing if you have to get up and go to work. My son's still getting over his trip to Italy with some jet lag. Had a buddy, Hughes, who worked over in London for a few weeks in a media outlet there, and for 28 days as part of his education at Auburn. Was at church yesterday after flying over. Just got home, I think, on Friday from a month in Europe. I don't like jet lag. I'm bad about the drive back just from the beach. To get back. It takes me a while to get back into sequence. Good news, I only gained 5 pounds on the trip.
That is excellent news, Jim. I was worried about that.
Yeah. Lots of beer, lots of food at Shunk Gully. Our buddy Paul owns that down there in that area.
Dunaway told me that only one day did he have double red flag.
Yeah, on Tuesday.
So people were calling the landmine. You being at the beach at double red flag the whole time.
Part of Wednesday where we were, which I think is either Grayton or Santa Rosa. I forget the name of the actual beach we were on. But we were red flag on Tuesday. I wasn't at the beach on Monday, so they may have been talking Monday, Tuesday. And then it was part of the day on Tuesday, and then they went red and purple. And I was wondering if you guys think purple will be part of the conversation this time of year moving forward. If that's with wildlife.
Yeah, marine pests, they call it.
Yeah. Which could include jellyfish and sharks and other things.
I honestly don't think this is like I mean, maybe they're a little more cautious. There are more sharks that are closer to the shore this year, and there's a variety of theories on that. But I think they kind of have their, like, this is not the James Spann dusting where people are going to be out of school just when we immediately think that. I mean, maybe they lean a little more on the cautious side.
Oh, as soon as they rolled down the beach, and they did it with the South Walton truck that roads by the sheriff's department, he was like, we've changed the flags now to purple and red and purple, so the water is open, swim at your own risk. And he did that all the way down, and instantly it was a flood.
And people going into the water
or coming in.
Oh, going into the water. You couldn't get in. It was, I think, $150 or maybe a higher fine.
Needs to be higher, by the way.
And I mean, there were people surfing and people all the way out to Double Sandbar. I noticed no difference.
Well, I think,
water activity.
With the marine pest, I think that is truly, I mean, that's a risk for anybody at any time.
Yeah.
I think double reds, you shouldn't be able to go in. I don't care how experienced you are. That should not be at your own risk.
If it's only a $150 fine, that's too low. I think you've got to make that one hurt for people so they'll know not to go in double red, because you're putting the rescue workers' lives at risk now.
100%.
It's not just your life at risk.
Morgan says prayers for Lulu. That continues here. We've been blown away at Lulu's Strong on social media as so many folks around the sports world and entertainment world send encouraging message to her. The local Mountain Brook girl in our area that was bitten by a shark recently in that incident down there. We were praying for the people who had 3 folks that lost their lives due to the riptide that you're talking about, which I think actually claims more lives annually around the world than shark bites.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah, the riptides are very dangerous.
It's probably 100 to 1.
Everyone is saying I'm wrong. It is a $500 fine. Does that's
what I heard on the doubles. Now, I didn't know. I didn't think there was a fine at all just for a red.
No. If it's red and purple, you can get in the water at your own. Only time.
Yeah, the double is $500.
Double, the water is off limits. You can't even get in to pee.
But as far as the sharks now, like talking to some of the guys down there, so they're on their walkie-talkie up on their Baywatch lifeguard, whatever the tower is, and they're looking out there, and if it's under 5 feet, I heard some of the guys saying we let it go. Like
if
shark.
If a shark's under 5 feet.
Yeah, like if they just don't think it's big enough to do any damage, which I think a 2 or 3 foot shark could take a hand off.
I don't want to roll the dice on that.
But they also have the helicopters nonstop going back and forth, and they're looking to see if they're spotting any bigger ones too, and that's when they. But I mean, the purple was up the entire time I was there.
So that's what the helicopter is doing that kept flying back and forth?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all they're doing is spotting sharks.
So you maintain that they may just keep purple and red up or at least purple up forever now.
And why not? Because we know, I mean, there's...
well, probably because it loses its impact if it's always up, though.
Didn't impact a lot of other people. I got in up to my waist. That was about it.
Saw no sharks?
Yeah, no. Thank God. But thinking about all those that have been impacted and what has been a very newsworthy summer down on the Gulf Coast. Show being brought to you today by our friends at Johnson RV Brownie. Another great weekend for Nick Johnson, and then we'll get to the recruiting with Alabama and Auburn. I know Nick loves a little college football. We're only 61 days away from week 0.
That's incredible to think about. You can go see it for yourself anywhere in America with an RV from Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. And they've repriced both those lots, so confident in their pricing that they are beating any price nationwide. That is their guarantee. Just bringing them a price on a comparable RV, and they will beat it. RV warranty forever. Make sure you are covered. Lifetime warranty on anything new and qualifying used. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 indicator, and you can always find them online, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Listen, follow me here. Is there a chance Ryan Williams, the incoming 5-star wide receiver for Alabama, doesn't have to meet his expectations as a wide receiver to have positively impacted Alabama's football program? He continues to bring recruits in. He makes an announcement in the zone as they're having a big recruiting weekend over the weekend. This is a social media video from folks that were attending, parents and stuff that are on. He's at the podium. He calls up his guy, he calls him, my guy, my dog, 4-star offensive tackle Micah Dubose, who goes up there. Micah has something he wants to tell. I don't even know what he's going to tell us, but he's got something he wants to tell us. That's Ryan Williams. I don't know what he's going to tell us. Ends up, he says, I've decided I'm coming to Alabama. Everybody cheers, including the Alabama coaching staff, which goes crazy as Micah makes his commitment there in Tuscaloosa over the weekend. He picks Alabama over LSU, Ohio State, Florida, and others out there, and another big get to the offensive line. And I'll start this with just the conversation I think everyone's having in college football. I saw on 3 Sports, I had a story on Saturday. I don't know when it dropped, but I saw it on Saturday, that Alabama and Kalen DeBoer's staff are in the mix. I mean, obviously Georgia, Ohio State, but they're in the mix for the nation's #1 recruiting class in this cycle. What was the biggest concern about Kalen DeBoer coming to town?
This guy is a West Coast guy. He doesn't know anything about the footprint. He's not going to be able to recruit here. Don't think that's been a problem. And a lot of this, I don't know how much you guys credit collectives, but I do think collectives are a big part of this now.
Yeah, I think that's
it. I think Alabama's got it kind of dialed in. But I mean, I don't want to take anything away from Kalen DeBoer.
No.
Kalen DeBoer's always been able to bring in talent wherever he was.
Yeah, I think collectives help, but as I look at On 3, they've got Alabama number 3 in the country. 24/7's got Alabama number 2 in the country. Ohio State's, I'll just go with On 3. Ohio State's number 1, LSU number 2, Alabama number 3, Georgia number 4. They all got good collectives too.
Yeah.
So, a collective can only take you so far. At some point, coaches have got to be able to recruit. Now, if you were smart enough to listen to this show, we laughed at that thought that Kalen DeBoer just all of a sudden is not going to be able to recruit. I even brought up, and you guys threw some names in too, I brought up Urban Meyer. When he came from Utah to Florida, he didn't have any trouble recruiting. Urban Meyer is far from a Southern guy, right?
I mean, Saban from Michigan
Nick
State
Saban,
to LSU.
That was one of the first ones I brought up, from Michigan State to LSU. He turned LSU around really quickly with talent. That guy never recruited to the South. Brian Kelly, the results may not be 100% what you want on the field. They are 100% what you want in recruiting. That guy has torn it up in recruiting. They don't, and as I said that day, I went back and watched the video the other day. As I said that day, they don't come more Yankee than Brian Kelly.
They don't. He even did a fake Southern accent.
He tried to do a fake Southern accent. I mean, it is. If you can, and I said it that if you can recruit, you can recruit. They will figure it out, and it appears, at least initially, they figured it out.
Yeah. So that's another get. I don't know how good any of these guys are, but Micah Dubose is another in a long line of offensive line recruits that Alabama is bringing in. As the show was ending on Friday, 4-star running back Alvin Henderson, state guy, flipped from Penn State, where he had been a long-time commitment, to the Auburn Tigers. And that happened Friday, right as the show was ending, as Rockstar hit his last chord. Boom, Brown hit you with the developing news there.
We might have a story one day on why he flipped, right, Brown?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some.
I mean, there were some DMs going back and forth.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Yeah.
Does it involve a young lady?
Oh, I really don't want to tip her hand on that story.
Okay. That wouldn't be the first time.
No.
Young ladies have changed recruiting classes since the beginning of time.
Indeed.
Yeah, since they were dividing up dinosaurs and cavemen.
No, I did find it interesting that we did get a story on early Friday, and then Friday afternoon or midday Friday he did flip.
Yeah.
But Alvin Henderson, I knew nothing of him. Didn't even know who he was. So I'm watching The Zone last night. I don't even know why. Maybe it was a God thing. I stumbled on The Zone right when you guys started talking about
God
this.
doing that.
Right. I stumbled on, and you guys are talking about this kid. And I did not believe the stats that you were spitting about this guy.
Well, Speaks was the one that threw it out there. Speaks says this kid averages 16 yards per carry, Lance. I'll say that again, 16 yards per carry.
I mean,
So
not to
you're-
take
you're-
anything away from, 7-man football, but is he playing 7-man?
I don't think so. I think he's 1A. I think he's playing full 11-man, but nobody chasing him down.
So if you're offensive coordinator, how do you not just give it to him every time?
Every play, right?
I mean,
You're
he's
not gonna
averaging
lose.
16. That's
Yeah.
a first down.
Every play. No, I run him until they stop him. That's for dang sure.
Yeah. Well, it said the stat. Y'all said 61 touchdowns.
All right,
last
here you
year.
go. This is from 24/7 Sports. 15.7 yards per carry. Single season record of 61 touchdowns.
61 touchdowns.
They didn't run him enough.
Yeah.
Did they win I hope they won the state championship.
No, they had
Surely
to.
they did.
Guy couldn't be stopped.
I mean, if they didn't win the state championship, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to call out a high school coach, but holy crap.
But so the big question becomes 1A to the SEC. But I think this is a question we've seen about a number of recruits, and we've seen 7A in our state and whatever the highest class in Texas flop as well.
Yeah.
So does the competition you play make a difference? Like Micah, I think, is coming from Viger, which I don't think is a 7A. It's probably a 6A, if I'm right, Forrester, Lunceford,
Probably
Viger.
now. It was,
It used to be.
when they had their best team ever in 1989, I think it was.
Yeah.
They were 6A, which was the highest classification back then.
And they're 5A now, so the demographics have changed for Viger, but they've dropped down, so they're not the top level of competition. But from 1A or whatever Elba is, but it seemed like y'all were talking like he was 1A. Maybe y'all were joking.
No, I'm just. But
does it matter?
No, it matters. It absolutely matters. I mean, level of competition is important when you're recruiting players. That is one of the things that people have talked about with Arch Manning. I don't think there's anybody that thinks Arch Manning, because of his last name,
right,
isn't ready to be a quarterback in college football. But apparently the level that Newman High School plays on there in Louisiana is far from the most competitive level of football there.
Is it an academy?
I think it's a Christian academy.
Is
isn't
it a private? They
yeah,
play
it's
private football.
Yeah. But I'm Peyton played there, and I think he was okay.
I think he was fine.
Yeah, Eli played there. I think Eli was okay. So I think everybody's willing to look at
And I think
Arch.
people have looked at Arch in camps and stuff, and they think Arch has got the skill set where he can be a starting quarterback. He's just, I think this is something you're not going to see in college football moving forward, but he's comfortable sitting and learning behind Quinn
That's
Ewers.
right. I just think there has to be a concern about level of competition. But I would also say this. Being a 1A player doesn't make you a bad player any more than being a 7A player makes you a great player, right? I mean, you could still be a dynamic player in 1A, and you're just so far above your competition, you're scoring 61 touchdowns and averaging 16 yards per carry. Likewise, you could lead rushing in 7A and be a non-factor in college football. So,
right.
I mean, I'm not willing to just say because a kid plays 1A football that he's not going to make it in the SEC.
Brody Croyle was pretty darn good.
Yeah, and Westbrook Christian was 1A.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just, I hate it when people say that about a kid. Oh, he's a 1A player. Well, he can't help where he lives, right?
Yeah.
And he can't help that the other teams can't tackle him. He's not. I'm willing to grant you he's not going to average 16 yards a carry at Auburn.
Yeah. Penn State, by the way, rolled back with a 4-star running back, Jadree Wallace. Jadkey Wallace.
Sure.
Coleman, he has hyphenated last name, Jadkey Wallace Coleman, 4-star running back, backfills in behind Alvin Henderson as a 4-star for Penn State over the weekend. My favorite recruiting name over the weekend, only because of one of our callers. Rockstar, do you remember the guy who used to call us and would say at the end, "Roll Tide, Jesse"? Is that what he said?
Yeah, it was in pick 3, right?
Yeah.
That's the only time he ever called. He'd do pick 3. Wasn't it from Pleasant Grove or something like that?
Was it Roll Tide Jesse?
Yeah, it was Roll Tide Jesse.
I thought he was Leeds.
Oh, was he Leeds?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's Leeds.
But
it was an initial, like JT or something.
Yeah, JT. I think you're right. And we finally got the story, and he said, I work with a guy named Jesse that's an Auburn fan, and he listens when I call, so I just always tell him, Roll Tide, Jesse. Roll Tide, Jesse.
La Jesse, because he's going to LSU. La Jesse Harold picks LSU 4-star edge rusher over Florida and Texas A&M over the weekend. And when I saw La Jesse, I thought of Roll Tide, Jesse. Roll Tide, Jesse.
La Jesse. I've never seen that name.
Me either. Best and worst of the weekend brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Tell us about Hemp Hill Services.
Yeah, trusted name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Whether you experience any of those issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. Had a nice conversation with our friend Chad Rhodes on Friday. Talked to Andrew last week, setting somebody up that was having AC issues. Make the call today, though. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Okay, Forrester has something for us here that is developing in Tampa Bay Stadium. You don't think of Texas and USF in the same recruiting cycle, recruiting world, right?
Nope.
Remember what Texas did when their recruits were walking in it may have been 2 weeks ago where they fired up, was it the Lambos they were firing up? Let's go down to Tampa where South Florida had a big recruiting weekend. What cars are those, Forrester?
Those are...
There's at least some Lambos in there.
Yeah, some Lambos. Is that the ones with the wings popped up? Or those Lambos?
I think I saw some Ferraris in there too.
Yeah, I don't think they're all Lambos. But
yeah. So official recruiting weekend, the recruits are walking by. It's made to look like you're walking by picking out your car. Yeah. I'm sure that's not what's happening.
I don't think they're that dumb, are they?
It's just
field's in good shape.
Yeah, it's like a car show.
Scott's right.
Well, I mean, when you allow 50 cars on a field, it's probably your priorities aren't really straight when it comes to the field.
Hey, is it okay if we pull the cars onto the field? When you get there, you just decide.
Is that Tampa? Is that the Buccaneer Stadium?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
What are y'all playing on this year, Dunaway? Seriously,
you think if Tom Brady was still quarterback, those cars would be out there?
No. I mean, the season, y'all know the season starts in September, right? When y'all going to fix that field?
I mean, we got an August home game and exhibition play, at least one, right?
Yeah, when y'all going to fix that field?
I'm sure we're going to put down turf or something stupid. USF, LT mentioned collective. Yeah, it's everywhere. Give us your best. Give us your worst. It sounds like I'm the Statue of Liberty. Give us your best and worst of the weekend as we roll on here, and we'll get to some of those coming up. My case for the next Jimbo Fisher in the next segment as well as we move on. Best and worst of the weekend brought to you by Hemp Hill. We'll get to that coming up. I want to remind you, New York Butcher Shop, it is grilling season. You know, sometimes you have to wait until the sun starts to set to get the grill out, but New York Butcher Shop wants to remind you, even when it's triple-digit heat index during the day, everything tastes better on the grill, and they've got the food for it.
Oh, absolutely. Just Jim and his staff are the best. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop, pick up the finest and certified Angus prime beef steaks, burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entree side dishes, perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family, ready to heat at home with a great selection of fine wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, 2 locations, Caba Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com. Getting ready for big game 3, which is basically a game 7. It's a game that decides the national championship tonight in the College World Series, and maybe a little backstory here that could impact the game. Does Lance'sLock.com have a play on this one, the World Series? Now, I know you got an ice pick.
We do.
You do have a play?
On the College World Series?
Yep.
Okay, let me know if this impacts you at all. Tell us the story, Browning.
Kirk Bowles, who's covered Austin American Statesman's covered Texas for a very long time. Texas today has fired 8-year Longhorn coach David Pierce. A source tells Kirk he is telling his team right now 2 years left on his contract.
You know who is going to be the guy.
You know what the long-running rumor has been, right?
Well, and it seemed like it got confirmed when I was on with Chip and Zay last week. Because we talked about it. It looks like Tony Vitello will end up being Texas's new head coach.
All they've been waiting on is the season to end, it appears, and everybody knows the season ends tonight, so you go ahead and fire the coach, right?
Yeah, but so I ask you, if you're Tony Vitello, do you like that this is leaking out day of game?
But there's, as Brown said, there's been speculation for the last weeks, if not months.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even follow college baseball that closely. I'm intimately aware of intimately is probably a bad word. I'm very aware of this story.
You lay with it in the darkness in your bed?
Intimately makes it sound like I've been in on the contract negotiations. I'm very much aware of this story, and I don't even follow college baseball that closely. That's how widely this has been speculated. And if you're Vitello, you probably, listen, when you're jumping from one big job to another, it's going to get messy. I guess Lincoln Riley really is the only one. Well, I shouldn't say the only one. One of the few I could think of. That came out of nowhere almost.
It came out of nowhere.
But it happened so quick.
And people basically blame Lincoln for trying to dodge the SEC.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going SEC to SEC. If you can win a championship at Tennessee, why would you leave? Because it is Texas baseball. I think there is something different, just like Texas football.
Yeah. And
if Josh Heupel would leave Tennessee to go coach, well, that would be so weird. His rival when he played.
Texas.
But I'm just saying, I think most Tennessee coaches would leave whatever the sport is. Of course, Rick Barnes went backwards, right? But he was kind of forced out.
To your point is the fact that it's probably easier to recruit the best of the best to Texas than it is at Tennessee. He's done a hell of a job to get Tennessee where they are. But
it doesn't seem like it's super difficult on him recruiting at Tennessee.
And Vanderbilt was even able to recruit.
Yeah, Tim Corbin recruited the heck out of baseball at Vanderbilt. So I don't know. I guess the money is significantly better at Texas than Tennessee. But you would think right now with the SEC money, the national championship coach, Tennessee would pay him pretty well. I guess maybe they can't outbid Texas.
Before we get to the best and worst of the weekend, Urology Centers of Alabama, I want to remind you that as you age a little bit, some things you want to keep an eye on, and they're the folks that you can get dialed in with and just stay with them the rest of your life. 20s to 30s and 30s to 40s and so on. Urology Centers of Alabama can help you out. UrologyCentersAlabama.com to get more details about what they offer you. 16 locations around the great state of Alabama, 16 of them. Everything from prostate health to kidney stones and everything in between. 205-930-0920 or UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. I'm going to make a case as my worst of the weekend. I think this contract happened Friday, so you guys discussed it already, but Brent Venables getting his contract extended already at Oklahoma. What was the number? It was 6 years, $46 million, something like that. Way too early. And here's my case on him being the next Jimbo Fisher for LT to jump on. He's 16-10 in 2 years, and the folks at The Athletic did the math, LT. When Jimbo Fisher got his infamous 2021 contract extension, he had earned $865,384 per win when he got his contract extension. So Texas A&M was paying him $865,000 and change per win when he got his contract. Right now, Oklahoma to this point already has paid Brent Venables $906,000 per win on his salary, and they've already gave him a contract extension. Could Brent Venables become the new Jimbo Fisher?
I think so different. I mean, Venables went from defense coordinator, first-time head coach.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be the distinction you made because Fisher had won a national championship.
Yeah, and I got to give Venables a lot of credit. We'll see what happens in year 3. I do think Oklahoma fans, with that schedule, first year in the SEC, they're going to be a little more forgiving. But, going from 6 wins to 10 wins, I thought that was an impressive year, too. I would say more in line with Jimbo is Mario Cristobal. And, I think we'll know a lot about Mario Cristobal after this year. If Mario Cristobal doesn't compete for an ACC championship this year, I don't know if he's going to.
Yeah.
I kind of agree
in year
with you,
3 with an elite quarterback, you've got all the resources.
Like mine, I wrote down Cristobal in case you brought it up. 10-year, $80 million contract he signed to go to Miami.
He's 12-13 or 13-12?
He's 12-13 after the bowl loss. A big year for him. Probably a better situation as being the next Jimbo Fisher is Mario Cristobal there. Just thought it was interesting. That was my worst of the weekend, him getting that contract extension so soon. But I guess it's the game you got to play in college football. Best and worst brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill Service. Tell us about Hemp Hill again, and then Brownie, give us a couple of them.
Yeah, our friends at Hemp Hill Service, make the phone call today, 205-229-2090. Whether you experience plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there, 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
Best and worst of the weekend. Best of the weekend. Tyler says Tom Kim almost beating Scheffler, and then his interview afterwards. I did not see the Tom Kim interview. I saw the...
Did you see the people protesting?
I did. I'm still waiting, as I said on social media. I'm still waiting on the guy that says, you know what? I wasn't going to get a battery-powered car until some people stormed the 18th green there at the Travelers Championship and poured out.
Didn't they say golf won't work on a dead planet? Didn't Alan Shepard hit a driver?
He did. That's a good point.
Did. Yeah.
That's an excellent point. Point counterpoint, Lance.
I don't know. It's at least the top 5 most famous golf shots of all time.
Would Bubba's be one of those?
Yeah, Tigers chip in.
Tigers roll in.
Tom Kite?
Tom Kite.
Did Kite not have who had the unbelievable on the approach hold it at the Masters?
The little chip with the water in the
Larry
background.
Mize.
Larry Mize.
Yeah, at this point, we're just doing master shots. We didn't even get through the Masters, and we're already to number 4 for Alan Shepard.
So the guy on the moon, not in the top 5.
I don't know if Alan Shepard's going to be top 5.
More best and worst of the weekend as we move throughout the show. Give us another one, Brent. You got somebody else over in the mybookie.ag chat room?
Bobby's worst of the weekend. You watched it last night. Spiegel's spinning the Auburn fans should be demoralized because of Alabama. I think Bobby missed the point there of what Spiegs was doing.
Yeah. Bobby already missed the point when I said my guy. I was being Ryan Williams making the announcement on there. So Bobby 0 for 2 there.
Okay, wow. I wasn't keeping up Bobby's score. I'm just saying Spiegel had done that when he talked about the Auburn commitment, saying Alabama fans are saying, and then he said Auburn fans are saying. So it was kind of a series of questions that Spiegel was asking there. He did one for Alabama and one for Auburn.
Just saw Forster said his daughter got her first scholarship offer.
I saw that.
Congratulations,
Scotty.
Which sport? She's dual sport.
She is dual sport, has played softball since she was 4. Been playing volleyball since her freshman year in high school. Gets a volleyball offer.
That away.
Volleyball. Whatever works. I will say this. Nobody will ever accuse you of being an absentee dad.
Nope. Scott goes to more games.
You should hear what Friday's plans are.
This coming Friday?
Oh, yeah.
What you got, Scott?
Well, the other kid who's now playing ball, we've got a Midnight Madness.
Oh, my God.
First game at 7 p.m. Last game at 6 a.m.
Is it at least at home?
No. What?
Is it at home?
Is there a hotel involved, a road trip, room service?
Oh, no.
Waffle House?
No, just a lot of softball.
God, some of the grinds you get put up to.
I'm telling you. At least to be sitting in the heat, though. I mean, there is that one positive.
That's the only upside.
That's the one I can think of, yeah.
My daughter just wanted to borrow my car yesterday after church, and I was like, All right, we'll get to Trey Wallace coming up on the other side. He is out in Omaha. We'll talk about that big game coming up. Lanya's Furniture is somebody that Brownie, LT, and I, we've been, is it intimately
aware of. Yeah.
Aware of for a long, long time. Inside workings of the business they do at Lanya's Furniture.
Yeah, look, I went out there recently, blown away with that showroom, and not only the quality of furniture, basically anything you want, our man Reggie can order for you out there, but also the pricing. Furniture, a lot of people, you shop it, you're like, damn, that's expensive. Just check out Lanya's. It is worth the short drive from Birmingham. Take exit 280 off of I-65. It's the Hallmark Farms exit. Go south on U.S. Highway 31 for 1.3 miles. It'll be right there on your right. For more information, 205-647-4311. Our friends at Lanya's Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lanya's offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, entertainment, and mattresses. Lanya's can also help you with your home design and decorating. They've got that 3-week event going on right now. Store-wide savings driven by hot buys with price and products to play on the summer theme. Transfer your home into a beautiful escape with new furniture and decor pieces, from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Lanya's has everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Bring the sun inside with Lanya's Furniture. Save up to 10% off store-wide or special financing, plus tons of hot buys throughout the store. Get in today. Tell Reggie and John, the guys from the Next Round, sent you.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Let's face it, a home is one of the most powerful assets you can have, and our friends at Mortgage Right want to help you build wealth through home ownership. Mortgage Right is all about providing competitive rates, a variety of loan products, and a multitude of resources for a seamless home buying experience. They treat their borrowers like family and are always looking to bring more happy homeowners under their roof. See more by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR today and start living. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com. The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Last 4 college baseball champions, SEC. 5 of the last 6. Tonight, another SEC team will win it. I thought the Aggies had it done. That was my pick to win it before the series started. I thought it would be the Aggies. 1-0 in the 7th, but 1 run doesn't beat Tennessee, Brownie. Tennessee comes back, wins it 4-1. We get a game 3 tonight, 6 o'clock on ESPN.
We do. Outkick's Trey Wallace has been covering it for Outkick at Trey Wallace _ where you follow Trey on Twitter. He's with us from Omaha on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I imagine that trip to Omaha feels like you've been there 2 months by the time it's over, Trey.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. Having done this, and besides the COVID year, I've been out here now for 7 years straight, and absolutely, it feels like I should just buy land in the Omaha area by now. At least there's a casino across the river if I really just want to get away and go try to waste some money. But man, you know what? This is such a cool event. By the end of this, I look forward to hopping in a coma for a couple days. But man, I'm so excited for tonight. This is what it's all about.
Hopping in a coma. I've never heard that phrase. I like it.
Before we get to game 3, I mean, there has been a rumbling, and I don't know if it's been weeks or months, but we talked about this. Tony Vitello, we just heard the news that Texas has fired their current head coach. And, you know, the thought is Vitello, win or lose, will take this job. What are you hearing?
Vitello is going to get a fat contract extension once this game ends tonight. Either way, Danny White's going to make him one of the highest paid coaches in the country in baseball. I don't expect Tony Vitello to take the Texas job. He has built something in Knoxville. And in talking with a number of people, he is comfortable where he is at right now. The money that they are putting into the University of Tennessee, this new stadium that will be done, they say, by the start of next season. Kind of skeptical on that part, but I just do not see him leaving Tennessee. And talking with some folks, he's also very focused too on what's going on. The contract stuff, he's letting his managers deal with that, and they'll have a discussion once this thing ends. Either way tonight, but I just, perfect timing from Texas. I get it. They wanna pop some news out on the Monday of the College World Series final, and Texas A&M is in it, and maybe it's a little bit of a mess around factor with the Aggies by throwing this out there. But I just, in talking with folks over the last month and a half, knowing that this Texas thing was going to come open, Tennessee and Danny White, they're prepared to do everything they can to keep him. I don't see him moving on, according to a number of people that I've spoken with about this, even last night when I knew the Texas news was going to be coming down today. So, look, I mean, we've said that a lot about not baseball coaches, football coaches, basketball coaches in general. Like, I understand it. But as we sit here right now, Tony Vitello is going to be the head coach at Tennessee next season, from all that I'm hearing.
But that gets you to one of my favorite SEC sports moments of all time, walking into the Georgia Dome for an SEC championship football game. Les Miles had us all scramble in for a pregame news conference he called to put out a game day rumor that he was going to be the next coach at Michigan. Have a nice day, he says at the end. Tony Vitello seems like the kind of guy that if he's not going pregame, this would be a great moment to have a nice day news conference.
I mean, man, I remember that. It's such good timing when that happened with Les Miles. God bless him, and good luck with that lawsuit at LSU. But at the same time, Tony, I'll say this: their players on the team have kind of known about the Texas thing kind of coming open, and I think that they don't have anything to worry about. Tony Vitello, just being honest here, he could care less. He's not listening to outside noise. He's not on social media. Sure, he might get some text messages and whatnot, but don't expect Tennessee or Tony or anything like that to come out and try to put something to bed on the biggest day in Tennessee baseball history. They're not worried about Texas right now. No disrespect to Texas, but they've got bigger things to deal with tonight than worrying about the head coaching job and what's going on in Austin.
Well, you mentioned Danny White, the athletics director, and this massive extension he's prepared to give. Like, what are we talking about annually? What will he be making?
Numbers wise, I don't want to get into that part, but I think he's going to be the top 5 head coach, probably around. I keep hearing a 4 number being thrown out there, which is a decent chunk for a college baseball coach. But I would suspect he's going to probably double his salary from where he's at right now. And look, a lot of this goes into also everything that they are doing with the stadium. And I'm going to put all this thing together. Tony Vitello has been hands-on with this. Tony Vitello has almost been an architect with what they have put together when it comes to Lindsey Nelson Stadium in Knoxville. They have let him inside that door. And even some of the stuff that in the renderings that you guys have seen, maybe in the super regionals or online, a lot of that came from Vitello. So, I'm sure Texas is already back channeled through representatives about this, but at the same time, I think Tony Vitello is going to make enough money. And I think, to be honest with you, I think the amount of money that Tennessee has invested into baseball, period, over the last number of years, you could go to Texas and that's fine, but you're going to get the same amount of money. I think you're going to get the same amount of resources from an NIL situation at Tennessee. And that surprised me, guys, to be honest with you, the amount of NIL that Tennessee's been able to spend when it comes to college baseball. But I just don't see it right now, guys. And again, anything can happen. We've all seen this before, but I just think Danny White knows what he has at Tennessee right now with Tony Vitello and Josh Heupel and Rick Barnes, and I could go down the list. They're not wanting to lose one of those coaches, and I suspect they will not.
Trey Wallace is with us. By the way, just put it in context when he says double, Tony Vitello's package is around $1.6 million right now, which is remarkable in and of itself for a college baseball coach. If you double that's crazy money for a college baseball coach.
And the thing is, too, like they have decided, when it comes to the amount of money that they're putting into this stadium, too, they decided at the same time they knew that Vitello was worth it. If you look at where this baseball squad was, I went back and looked at pictures the other day. I mean, that baseball field was disgusting looking. There were trees and a railroad track in left field. You couldn't see anything. There were no bleachers. And what I'm getting at is that they have realized they can make money off college baseball at Tennessee and what they're going to do and how they're doing it. The ticket demand is absolutely wild, guys. You have got 10,000 people, on a list to get college baseball tickets. We're not talking about college football, and that's just to get on a list for season tickets. So I just feel like what they have done investment-wise, why make that move is my big thing.
So what happened to Tennessee's offense? They finally break out in the 7th last night, but up until that point, they left the bases loaded twice. It was the pressure getting to Tennessee up until the 7th when they break it open?
Yeah, I think it was, and I think it carried over from what we saw on Saturday. I think when you saw Christian Moore go 0 for 5, Tears 0 for 4 the night before, and then leading up to that game, guys, I thought it was a wrap going into that 7th inning. I thought Texas A&M was just going to win this game somehow because Tennessee's offense, it wasn't clicking anywhere in the lineup. Yeah, they were getting some singles, they were getting some bases loaded situations, but they weren't powerful hits and whatnot. So that's what kind of threw me off a little bit about Tennessee's offense. But then it takes Dylan Dreiling, and then it's Kyle Stark. It's not your Blake Burks or Christian Moores and whatnot to get it going. And Tennessee has done that all season long, man. You can count them out. It could be the 9th inning. It doesn't matter. You remember the Florida State game, what feels like 3 months ago, which was a week and a half ago, the way that they came back. So, you hit that home run and it's like, okay, everything switched. And there's a reason why, Tony Vitello, I think around the 6th inning, he was really giving the umpires the work. And even the dugout, that was a way to kind of spark it. And then all of a sudden you get up there and a kid, Dylan Dreiling just knocks one out. But that's what this Tennessee offense is. And I think that they can hit you at any time. There was just a lot of things not going their way through that first, 6.5 innings. So, I honestly thought I was already preparing an article, Aggie's going to raise the trophy at the end of the day. But again, you know what? I went back and kind of thought about some of the things that Tennessee's done all season long, and they did it again yesterday. And that's what sets up such an interesting matchup tonight is nothing is going to be left in the bullpen, nothing to be left in the dugout. They're going to throw everything they can, both teams, to try to win this title. And I just think that's what makes this thing so great tonight is, you got a pitcher that threw on Saturday. He's going to be begging to go back in tonight. It's just going to be madness here in Omaha.
And it's safe to say the winner of tonight's game gets 2 titles because I got to think the big whiteboard at Rocco's is decided tonight. I mean, whoever wins probably takes Rocco's over, and those Jello shots, they start flowing, right?
I mean, this thing is close now. I mean,
I know.
last time we looked, it was like 29,000. It was literally like 500 shots off each. If Tennessee wins tonight, I'm sure the guy that comes on y'all show weekly, Clay Travis, will end up sending at least a couple $1,000s to let Tennessee win this thing. Who knows? But it's been a party, and I tell you, the one thing that people ask me is, is the college baseball, is the World Series worth it to go out there? And I always say yes. Even if you go out there for the championship series, the surroundings, the bar right across the street, you got a Rocco's company that decided, man, we can make a buckload of money just by selling some Jello shots. It's just the atmosphere. But yeah, no, the winner of tonight, I think takes home the Rocco's Jello shot challenge. And I don't know, hell, maybe the loser just feels like getting drunk enough to wrap off the weirs. They just buy everything they can.
Either way, Rocco wins. Trey Wallace is with Outkick at Trey Wallace _. Follow him for reaction on tonight's game, and you can see it on ESPN tonight. Thank you very much, Trey. Safe travels back home when you finally get to leave Omaha.
I look forward to it, guys. I enjoy the work. I appreciate you guys having me on, and enjoy tonight's national championship.
You bet, buddy. Take care. Trey with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline.
2 points before LT tells us about HydroLife. One, I've done that Omaha trip a couple of times. The last time I drove and one-man band did it.
Okay.
When Auburn and Alabama both were there. And on separate days. So I had a practice in the day and a game every night. Worked out perfectly, but I got there 2 days early, a day before the teams arrived, and I bought my first ever PlayStation in Omaha and set it up in my hotel room. And played PlayStation college football all day long on my one non-travel day before the teams arrived.
So you go to a city you've never been to, and rather than just
everybody's out partying, having fun.
See what it might offer, find a good restaurant, you buy a PlayStation and lock yourself in your hotel.
And play college football, Dynasty, all day long and all night.
Got to get there a day early.
I know. Can you hear him selling it?
They by rule only would allow me to drive 8 hours, so they expect me to break the drive into 2, but I did not. I drove straight. And I think it was, I want to say somewhere between 12 and 14-hour drive.
That's a short one.
I just knocked it all the way out. And I was in one of those big live truck vans.
All over the road.
It was a microwave van that we were going to shoot our microwave onto the local station. I was able to do live shots from out there. One-man band live shots. Was a disaster.
Oh, I'm sure it was. That sounds awful.
Horrible. It was horrible. My other takeaway is, you say $1.6 million he's making already?
That's what the report is. $350,000 base salary, and when you factor in all the other things,
he said $4 million possibly.
That's what he said,
and that's what
1.6 will get you to 3.2. So they're really getting a bidding war with Texas.
I just want to look real quick and see how many established college football coaches he's making more than.
Well, during the interview, that's what I wasn't texting anybody. I looked up Phil Fulmer's last contract.
Oh yeah.
Phil Fulmer's last contract averaged $3 million over 6 years. So Tony Vitello is going to make more than Phil Fulmer made his last year if he stays at Tennessee.
Well, let me find the salary for the guy that's getting fired today at Texas, apparently. And let's just David Pierce.
What he's making
David
right
Pierce, 1.2. So either way, Texas is going to jump up a ton to get Vitello, or Tennessee's going to jump up a ton to keep him. Either way, you know who wins here? Tony Vitello.
Yeah.
Either way, he's making a bundle.
Rocco and Tony Vitello.
Biggest winners tonight, no matter what happens.
And maybe Texas A&M if they can win tonight. I will tell you guys who love to play the opposite of the landmine. I don't know what lanceslog.com is, but I've gone to mybookie.ag and I've put down a hefty amount, 2/3 of my purse on Texas A&M money line tonight. I think plus 165 is what I got it at. So I'm Texas A&M money line tonight. And lanceslock.com for his play. He's got an ice pick tonight on Game 7, Oilers and the Panthers. The Oilers are trying to win Canada's first Stanley Cup since 1993, and Florida's trying to win their first Stanley Cup ever. 6 o'clock ESPN for the baseball, 7 o'clock ABC for the hockey tonight. lanceslock.com. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemp Hill. Also, Hydrolive. Man, we got triple-digit heat index continuing, IVs that get you back right after a long work day, maybe a tournament, golf outing, whatever you're doing. Hydrolive is there with a lot of benefits.
Yeah, got to make sure you stay hydrated. IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, all under one roof. You can boost that immune system with Hydrolive therapy. IV therapy treatments packed with nutrients to increase energy, reduce stress and anxiety, boost that immune system, and much more. Also ask about the memberships. Members rewarded with deep discounts. Save up to 50% off regular pricing for all services, plus receive that one free IV bag per month. You're going to recoup the IV membership fee in just one visit. Hydrolife Therapy, 2 locations in Birmingham, Homewood, now Highway 119 in Greystone, also a Tuscaloosa location. They're open 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Make sure you mention the next round. You're going to get 20% off any of those great services from our friends at Hydrolife Therapy. For more information, go to hydrolifetherapy.com.
Okay, best and worst of the weekend. Continue with those in the mybookie.ag chat room. Keep those coming in over here. We'll get to some of those in the next segment. We got our 40 and 40 team in the next segment. My best of the weekend, I gave you my worst, was the Brent Venables contract. My best of the weekend was True Love winning again. Travis Kelce on stage dancing in Wembley Stadium as part of the dance crew with Taylor Swift over the weekend.
Boy, I missed this.
I Can Do It With a Broken Heart is the tune, the opening he was dancing to, that wonderful anthem. And he was a little skit where he picks up and carries her at one point like they're over a threshold. Travis Kelce dancing on stage, part of his off-season regiment here.
Do you still stand by this being just a whole ruse, a whole charade?
I mean
there's more to it.
Yeah,
now.
they've taken it a little deeper.
You would now say it started as a charade.
Yeah, this is Kelce on stage in her tux,
and they truly fell in love, or they have found something in common.
Could be.
Or
I told
like
you about the longest third date.
Yeah,
the documentary on Netflix where the couple flies to Costa Rica on their third date, and then the world shuts down with the coronavirus. So this could be one of those where it got hooked up, but they were like, I kind of like you. I kind of like you.
So you would now maintain this was a publicity stunt to begin with that has turned into more than that.
Maybe.
Yeah. So Travis Kelce, camp's open soon, right?
Oh yeah, heck yeah,
we're
July,
after July 4th. Camps are opening, so his summer is about to come to an end.
It's been a good summer, though.
He's about to have to go to work. Brown, you, of all the people in the room here, I'm not counting behind the glass or EG or Taylor, you of the people in the room are more TikTok savvy than LT and I. Is that fair, LT?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
I get stuck on TikTok.
I don't really ever get on TikTok.
So if I told you Pookie, you know who Pookie is?
I do. That's Jet's wife. She's
Jet's
looking
wife.
ravishing tonight.
Yeah.
Quintessential Pookie.
Yeah, she is pregnant. Pookie is pregnant.
My college-age daughter told me that.
This isn't the Hawk Tui girl, is it?
That is not the Hawk Tui girl. 2 different people. Though she may as well.
I heard she sold. She's already made up over $2 or $3 million on merch.
I don't know if it's that much. She got a merch deal.
Oh, it's the thing that we scream.
And she lost her job, though, right?
I think that was.
According to
urban legend.
According to the internet, she's a Nashville area teacher.
Yeah,
and lost her job.
I think that was urban legend.
Yeah, maybe so. But at golf tournaments now, the PGA this past weekend at Travelers, when they hit a good shot, hot Tua, spit on that thing, right down the middle of the fairway.
Pookie is pregnant, which Jet. She's Ole Miss, by the way. You know that? Yeah, she went to Ole Miss.
I did not.
Yeah.
So should I know who Pookie is?
No, not really.
Is that who Jet is?
Jet's Pookie's husband.
Okay.
Jet loves, you find you something you love like Jet loves a turtleneck.
Okay.
Yeah. Man loves a turtleneck.
But I'm catching up on Pookie and Jet here. There's that's not her real name. I got a real name.
Yes, it's not her Christian name.
Campbell's her real name.
That's
he calls her Pookie. They unveil what they're wearing, outfit of the day when they're going out on dates and
that
events.
That is correct. Yes, that is Jet's job. Yeah. Pookie just kind of stands there and Jet breaks down her outfit.
If it was daddy-daughter date night, I could see you doing this on your TikTok.
We may do it as a spoof one time.
Yeah.
Puka's looking good. It's kind of weird, though, for me to have to say my daughter's looking especially ravishing. I wouldn't say that.
Is there a chance we've stumbled on to one of the 2 stories from TikTok you've just brought up? Have we stumbled on to one of your Halloween costumes options this year?
You never know. I think they're too narrow in theme. Mine is narrow in theme, but I think the whole show is going to get it.
Okay.
It's just going to require some explanation of people outside the show.
So you've already got it planned?
I do, yeah.
Wow.
I almost did it last Halloween. Backed out at the last minute, but I'm not backing out this year. I'm going with it.
Yeah. If there is anyone in the Miami Dolphins camp that wants to take the H off Tua and just go with some kind of gear.
It's already out there.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, I've seen some visuals of the Hawk Tua.
Hike Tua.
So it's Tua's body with a Hawk head on top of it.
All right, we'll do our 40 and 40 team when we come back. Our friends at Way to Wellness have their work cut out. Apparently, you can't go and eat what are the fries they have at Shunk Gully? Our buddy Paul Register. It's an appetizer. It's cooked in some kind of oil and
truffle oil fries.
Oil fries, and it's got a bunch of stuff. You can't eat that 6 straight days or 6 straight meals and lose weight.
Yeah, it's probably hard
to do.
Yeah. But at least you enjoyed yourself.
Oh, I had such a great time, and our friends at Way to Wellness will get me back to losing weight. They can do it for you too. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. I'm talking about Leslie and her board-certified team. You see on your screen, if you're watching us on our video platforms now, the Next Round guys going through a free consultation. You can get that free consultation and find out how Way to Wellness can help you. They can do it with the diet. They got other treatments to help you lose weight. For me, it was about cholesterol and blood pressure. That was the thing I needed Way to Wellness to help me with. It's weight loss, it's wellness, it's all in the name, Way to Wellness. Go to their website, aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Go check them out. No contracts and no sign-up fees either. It is fantastic. Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
Man, I love a good meal. I'm Jim Dunaway. A good meal is what you get with my friend Sterling at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. We're talking great southern fried chicken, wonderful sides, hand-cut chicken fingers, po' boys, and those Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. You got a perfect menu for everybody. Champy's Chicken is perfect for watching the big game, or taking a meal to the lake house, down to the coast, or stay in the restaurant and dine in a great atmosphere. It's all made fresh to order right there on 119 in Alabaster, Champy's Chicken.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Our friends at Lanyas Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lanyas offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Lanyas offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Lanyas sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Lanyas has to offer you.
If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time to pull the trigger on the Next Round merch that you've been eyeing. We know there's a lot to choose from at nextround.store, so here's a few of our favorite picks. If you want to match LT and Brown, go with the TNR logo hoodie and throw in one of Dunaway's favorite hats. Any of them will do. The Backroom's go-to is the classic logo t-shirt, while my personal favorite is the light blue TNR crew neck. All of these items can be found at nextround.store and are EG approved. Rest assured, your order will be packed with lots of love from us here at the Next Round. Head over to nextround.store to start filling up your cart.
We'll get to our 40 and 40 team in just a second. Dr. B, third reference to the zone last night on ABC 3340.
I've watched this more than 3340 does.
I've watched the show, I think, twice now. Once I was on it in the last 2 months, 3 months, whenever. But it was on my TV when I walked back to my sports room. I don't know what I had been watching or trying to find.
You don't have to explain it, Jim. It wasn't porn.
It's a great show. And ABC 3340 Brown's part of it with Speegs and Seacrest every Sunday night. I started noticing your hair on TV, that maybe we're starting to get a little growth back in there. Brownie has joined LT with our friends at Dr. B.
He has. We do that non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. That is it. My hair has more than doubled in thickness. Make the phone call today. Get a consultation. See if it's right for you. Again, if you're thinning out, you know somebody that's thinning out, be preemptive. For more than 20 years, women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. Beckenstein and that great staff today. Again, tell them the Next Round sent you, 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
I missed a whole week of our 40 and 40 countdown, but was following it on social media. If you need to get caught up, there's a thread from 40 all the way to the most recent team that Little T and Forrester have going on our social media platforms. Good time to remind you, if you're watching us on YouTube or any other video platform, like and subscribe wherever you are. And if you're on one device, it never hurts to go to other platforms and like and subscribe everywhere, including if you're following us on Twitter. Like and subscribe there, Instagram, even on TikTok. Between all the videos we just talked about, you get a lot of Next Round content there as well. So go follow us on TikTok. Everything is at Next Round Live. Our 40 and 40 countdown is all the way up to number 13 today. Number 13, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie. That means today is 13 shows away from SEC Media Days. That's how close we are to football season here in the South. Tell us about mybookie.ag, a must for football.
Listen, we're about to talk about a team, and Lance is going to tell you probably they'll be favored. I'm going to guess Lance says they'll be favored in 9 of their 12 games. So he's gonna,
we'll see.
I don't know. Schedule tougher than you expect.
I'm going to guess Lance says 9 of 12. Either way, you'll be able to play every single one of those games at mybookie.ag. Code Next Round gets you a sign-on bonus. And obviously, they've got a revamped VIP and loyalty rewards. You can play any game out there. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round to get that sign-on bonus when you go to MyBookie.ag. Here's the unveil.
All right, Forrester. Who is it? Number 13. We are Penn State.
Most boring cheer.
I had them a little lower. I had them at 18 because I do think the schedule is a little more difficult than people believe. I think it starts week 1 in Morgantown against West Virginia. I think that is a major pressure game for Penn State and James Franklin. The good news is 21 wins over the last couple of years. The bad news is 3-17 against top 10s, and he's 4-16 against Ohio State and Michigan while he's been at Penn State. You just can't make noise in the Big Ten unless you're going to knock off those teams, and he just doesn't do it. I think James Franklin's a good coach. I've never believed he's a great coach. A lot of people believe this is the year. They never made a 14 playoff, but this will be the year Penn State will get into a 12-team playoff.
Good news
so you
on
think,
the stat.
You think Penn State is a playoff team this year?
Oh, a 12-team, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've got them at 13.
Good news on the stat you just gave. He probably only plays one top 10 team this year in Ohio State. That's probably it because you gave the Ohio State Michigan. Does not play Michigan unless he plays them with the conference championship.
That's why
game.
I think this is a sneaky tough.
Oh, I agree with you, LT.
Yeah, so I think at West Virginia is a swing game. At USC, at Wisconsin, you mentioned Ohio State. Washington still will be difficult. Even games on the road against Purdue and Minnesota. I think they lose a game they shouldn't this year. I think they're probably 9-3, and I think it's borderline whether or not they get in. They probably don't because they probably will only play one top 10 team.
Yeah,
look
that's
at
going to be it.
Look at that 6-game stretch of at USC, at Wisconsin, Ohio State, Washington, and then you back that up with sneaky road games at Purdue and Minnesota. That could be, you could be a playoff team after a loss to Ohio State. You beat Washington, who's going to be down a little bit with a home game, and then you go on the road, and then at Purdue or at Minnesota could be one of those sneaky, crazy road Big Ten losses that cost you a playoff spot. That would be so James Franklin.
Yeah, the good news is you miss Michigan. And again, I think we all believe that Michigan's going to take a couple of steps back, but still going to be a really good team. But in 10 games against other opponents, not Michigan, not named Michigan and Ohio State, they averaged over 36 points per game. Against those two teams, Ohio State and Michigan, they averaged 13 points per game.
Yeah. Caleb says in the mybookie.ag chat room, Aller has to take a step forward.
Well, Aller was pretty good last year. 25 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. And I think Aller can take a step, especially when you look, Nick Singleton back, Katron Allen. They have one of the best 1-2 punches in all of college football, the best probably Ohio State. But, those two guys going into their true junior years are going to take pressure off of Aller. You've got a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator in Tom Allen. Defense was really good last year.
I think the games that most interest me in week 1, Florida-Miami probably is at the top of the list. Texas A&M, Notre Dame is probably second. Penn State and West Virginia might be third, but I'm just looking here at mybookie.ag. Penn State's a double-digit favorite in Morgantown, 10.5.
They haven't played there since 1992.
Yeah, I don't think they'll go off as a double-digit
I get the feeling Lance would lean West Virginia catching 10.5 in that one at home, wouldn't you?
Now, Penn State beat them last year in Happy Valley, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then Neil Brown didn't look good in that one. Neil Brown turned it around. I think they were 9-4 last year.
That is correct.
So last year they won that game 38-15.
Yeah, but different in Morgantown. You got to think it's going to be crazy. It's where I love Klatt, love the big noon kickoff, love having a big game at 11 o'clock. Sort of wish that was a night game.
Yeah, I kind of wanted nighttime in Morgantown, but it is the big noon kickoff 11 in Mountaineer Field. So it's going to be head-to-head with Georgia and Clemson. So that'll be your two big games in the early window.
Much like Alabama, they got to go to Camp Randall, where they're 5-6 over their last 11 trips to Camp Randall. So it's been sort of a 50-50 roll the dice proposition for them there in Madison. And as LT mentioned, 7 straight losses to Ohio State. Sneaky tough schedule for our number 13 team in our 40-40 countdown. One team every show until SEC Media Days, brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag.
We were just talking about them. Mybookie.ag, 10.5. Right now you can play that game if you wanted to. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. Mybookie.ag. If you want to go get you a little West Virginia plus 10.5, Lance says it's only going to drop from there. It will not go off at 10.5. So that'd be what we let call value, right?
Yep.
Getting it right now.
I think this game goes off around 8.5 or 9.
Oh, so you're getting maybe 2 full points of value right now at mybookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at mybookie.ag to get that sign-on bonus.
Yeah, I want to tell you, we're looking for ways to raise money for athletic programs. I saw where the estimated value of the sponsorship on the field, if your school decides to do that, is supposed to be $6 million a year. That would help.
Wait a minute, no.
So you would have one consistent, like you would have Bud Light at the middle of the field, and that would be for all 8 SEC home games.
Yeah, or 7, however many you get, $6 million. That's the estimated. I don't know if that's an average.
Well, that's got to be an average because it'd be more for, an Alabama, Texas, Ohio State than it would be for,
Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah.
But even for an Alabama or an Auburn, is it worth $6 million a year?
Yes.
To put a logo on the field?
Yes.
A sponsorship logo?
Well, you think about
I watched Canadian football last night. They had 4 different sponsorship logos.
Did they really?
Yeah, on the field.
Well, not only are these going to be premium games, but how many times on a given Saturday and Sunday do you see the highlights again?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, it's not just about those 3.5 hours where you're actually watching the game. It is everyone else. It's just sampling the highlights, and you're seeing those logos nonstop.
Now, I am going to want it to be a premium sponsor. Like, I don't know. I'm going to be generic here because I don't want to insult anybody's company. But, I don't know about you guys, but do you remember, or you probably have done it recently, watching on the NFL Network the out-of-market preseason games, and it'd be like the Saints, and it's like Tim Brando doing the game, right?
Yeah.
So it's not a normal NFL crew doing the game. and the first down line is sponsored by Snappy's Crawfish or something, like totally non-NFL sponsor.
Yeah.
You know, in an NFL game, the first down is presented by Ford or Bud Light.
Big Bubba's Po' Boys, 16 locations in the.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, these programs are going to take, like, if Snappy's can afford it.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to want to try to be high end on mine, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you'd rather,
it's going on my field.
To your point, my hat tip today goes to Barb Whites. She's a trustee at Nebraska. Now, they laughed at her when she pitched this.
Okay.
Did y'all discuss this last week?
Nope.
Okay.
Never even heard of it.
She's the only woman on the Board of Regents, I believe.
All right.
The men laughed at her in the room. But she's looking for ways to bring in more money for the collective, for the school, for the athletic department. And Barb says they have put expansion of the stadium in Lincoln on hold, on pause, with more suites to create more money. They've yet to allow alcohol sales. She suggests that a columbarium be part of the experience at the stadium there in Lincoln, Nebraska, where lifelong Nebraska fans can pay a price to have their ashes permanently placed inside of Memorial Stadium there in Lincoln.
Yeah, genius idea. I think if you built a mausoleum of sorts, and it's obviously got its place in the stadium, and you probably have to go through doors to get there. Like
she's suggesting under the field, much like we have the thing at Tennessee.
So literally
we got a
under
morgue,
the field,
right? Is that what it is? A morgue under the field at Tennessee?
I thought that was at LSU. I could be wrong. Is it Tennessee?
I think it's Tennessee.
All right.
But she's suggesting that, and you pay for more if you want your spot to be on the 50-yard line or in the end zones.
I think we're getting.
If you're on the 25, you're paying less. If you're on the 17.
I think a better idea is just let people call plays. Like, what would somebody pay to call a play? They averaged 18 points per game last year. The offense was awful. You might as well. Hey, and you could go to the PA. It is time for our, Bud Light fan play call of the day. Today we're going down to John Smith.
Johnny, what you going with?
He owns an insurance agency in Omaha.
Johnny, right now, do you want to go A, B, or C? Help him out, fans. C.
I don't think it's the worst idea in the world. I just don't know how you execute it.
Would you want to be buried like your favorite team? Like, I'm a major Rams fan, but the problem is I wouldn't want all my ashes there, but if they put a little, then the next thing you know, another stadium's over. Are they going to take that with you to another stadium?
Well, that would be less in college, more in the pros.
Or are they just going to implode you?
Yeah, like if I'm a big Braves fan, if I was a big Braves fan and I passed shortly after 1992, I'd been like, pull me at Fulton County near home plate where Sid Bream was safe at the plate, one of the great plays in Braves history. And they're now 2 stadiums later, right?
That's right. They've moved
from
twice.
Fulton County.
Yeah. You're in a whole different county now.
That's
It's
right.
not even Fulton County
anymore.
anymore.
Though, illegally, there have been ashes that are spread.
Oh, it happened in back-to-back Iron Bowls. The Kick 6 and then the 2014 game in Tuscaloosa. In both situations, the schools had to come out and remind fans it is illegal to dump human remains on the football field at Jordan-Hare and Bryant-Denny. It happened in back-to-back Iron Bowls. So, I mean, it has happened before. I'm just trying to envision, like, do you want a room where when we go to the game, we can go visit Uncle Lance?
So where you walk by it.
Yeah, that's what that was my suggestion is, where's Uncle Lance buried? Oh, actually, it's really cool. He's buried at Memorial Stadium.
I would rather go see a dead relative or friend at a stadium than a cemetery.
That's right.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, on a game day, rather than have to go to a cemetery?
You could visit them 7 times a year. You probably don't do that if they're in a normal graveyard.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds absurd, and people will be laughing at them for doing this, but I do think you'd make money on it. Now, I don't know how you execute it, but I think you'd make money on it.
What would be the name for it? You can't use like Walk of Champions because you actually do that going into the stadium in Tuscaloosa. Let us know in the chat room what's a good name for the columtorium. I may not be saying that right.
I've never heard that word. When you said it, I know what you were saying.
It's cool. Columbarium. Does that sound right?
Oh, that's what you said. Yeah. I thought it sounded like a medicine.
Yeah, I think it's a column where you put the ashes in those little, almost like a lock. Yeah. Just for those of you listening, still not watching. That's doing a little gesture.
The Bear's Den is what Cody says. That's not bad. The Crimson Crypt.
I like the Crimson Crypt.
Lunceford says you got it right. A columbarium. He's got the definition in the mybookie.ag chat room. A room or building with Niches for funeral urns to be stored. I didn't. Yeah, you got.
So they've got the mini urns,
right?
Like I've got a piece of Chuck on my coffee table.
That's right. I think that's what you would have more of here.
Yeah, I think,
for those new to the show, Chuck is LT's dad.
My dad passed away a couple of years ago, and I've still got his ashes. We haven't gotten together as a group to take them down and spread them around the coast. We had some spread in Key West. We've all got the small urn, and then I've got the larger thing. But I would take a small urn, and maybe your finger goes to Dodger Stadium.
Yeah, your SoFi Stadium is going to be around for a little bit at least.
Yeah, but Lance's point there is when they start moving stadiums around, if you've buried it under the field, Dad gets left behind in Inglewood, and when the stadium moves to wherever.
Yeah, Dodger Stadium, he might get stolen.
Yeah. The Dodger Stadium, they just move them from the parking lot into the field after somebody gets knifed in the lot.
Crypto Arena, it's already in the name, Crypt.
That's right
there. All right, show being brought to you today by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. We'll get to 4 downs in the next segment as we roll on. But before LT tells us about Michelson, the clear view on recruiting, Alabama gets Micah DeBose over the weekend, 4-star offensive tackle. Auburn, at the end of the show Friday, got a big flip from Elba running back Alvin Henderson, 4-star running back, flips there. He is the big-time recruit that is coming from Penn State, was a Penn State commitment, a flip over to Auburn and Hugh Freeze. So right now, as we sit, both Alabama and Auburn, top 10 in recruiting. As we head down the stretch here, a big conversation from Chad Simmons over the weekend about a 5-star wide receiver in Caleb Cunningham, who now has Alabama, at least publicly, listed as his number one choice, maybe a commitment coming up a little bit later on. You can get more on the big weekend for Auburn from Zach and Brad, part of Village Vice at War Damn Pods. That's part of the Disrupt the Media YouTube channel there, War Damn Pods, like and subscribe. And Mick and Jake giving you the great reaction. Jake Coker National Championship quarterback Mick Gillespie at Elephant in the Room. That's at Roll Tide Pods for you right now. Michelson Laser Vision giving you that look at recruiting.
Yeah, I had a friend over this weekend, was asking about LASIK and just reached out to me and said, hey, will you reach out to Amy for me and get me set up with a consultation? Very simple, 205-969-8100. Call that number, ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. Ask about the pre-inflation pricing. I got the procedure done over 2 decades ago. I've still got 20/15 vision, better than 20/20. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by, ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Our friends at Longest Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Longest offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Longest offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Longest sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Longest has to offer you.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service. Spring weather is here, and our friends at Hemphill Services are offering a $69 HVAC tune-up plus 10% off any service call when you mention the next round. Call Adam, Chad, and the guys at Hemphill Services. Make sure your HVAC unit is ready to keep up with the changing weather. Hemphill Services, locally owned and operated independent Trane dealer. The team can service all makes and models. For all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs, call Hemphill Services. It's hard to stop a Trane. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com. That's 205-229-2090, hemphillservices.com.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 2200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or Michelson. LaserVision.com.
Four downs every day here on the show. We'll get to that in just a second. MyBookie.com chat room. CU Buff way back to the USF Cars on the field in Tampa recruiting weekend. He said he would have been more impressed if they had real bulls running around out there and the recruits were having to dodge them.
That could get dicey.
And Laura says, Pookie and Jet, perfect Halloween costume for Dunaway and Brown this Halloween. Dunaway, Pookie, and your Jet.
Rockstar, can we fire that up for trash or something? I just want to see what Pookie and Jet look like.
Just Google it, Rockstar. You easy Google image here. Pookie and Jet.
We'll do that coming up.
Are they influencers?
Yeah, I mean, I think
they are now.
Yeah, I don't know that they started that way, but I guess it has ended up that way because of their tremendous following. I have no idea how many followers they have.
Yeah, Pookie is pregnant. The number one thing on Google.
Rockstar's got a perfect. I mean, that is quintessential Pookie and quintessential Jet.
Yeah. I did not think that Pookie and Jet would look like that.
You didn't? What were you expecting?
I don't know what I was envisioning.
Yeah. Pookie is Pookie.
Maybe Pookie from was it New Jack City? Chris Rock.
Pookie is Ole Miss. I don't know if Jet went to Ole Miss or not. I don't know if they met in Oxford.
Oh, with a name like Jet, sounds like he would.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sells insurance, and she is high maintenance.
Yeah. They live in Atlanta, according to that story.
Yeah.
Who are Pookie and Jet? They're TikTok influencers. That will not be our Halloween costume for Brown and me coming up this year. Four downs, though, brought to you by our friends at Slice. LT has that for you. Slice has a great lunch waiting on you right now.
Yeah, the best pizza out there. Local pizza, local ingredients, created by the late Jeff Bajalia. His brothers, Jason and Chris, continue to celebrate his legacy. 5 great locations. The original, Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, and now Edgewood. Stop in for a slice and salad today. It is Slice.
First down.
More total touchdowns this year. Drew Aller or Peyton Thorne?
Total, counting rushing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go Peyton Thorne on this one. I've never been a fan, obviously, of James Franklin's offense. I think it can get stuck in mud a lot. And I think Auburn's offense takes a little bit of a step forward this year. So I'll go Peyton Thorne.
I think both are going to... Like, if they were to have this home and home again, I think it would be great games.
Yeah.
Like, I think Auburn's going to be that improved. I think Penn State's going to be really good. I think Aller is the better quarterback. Peyton Thorne, obviously, more experienced. I would go Aller.
Better receivers at Auburn now than Penn State. Is that fair?
Oh, I don't know. But potentially.
Running backs.
Auburn's got one of Penn State's receivers.
I would say running backs, Penn State.
Jarquez Hunter's.
I get it.
Is an all SEC.
Singleton and Allen are studs.
Yeah. I don't think either one of these guys will have a lot of rushing touchdowns because of how good their running backs are. That's very close. I'm going to go Aller as well.
Second down.
Or as Alar, as I once said.
Alar.
More wins this year, Penn State or the Pittsburgh Steelers?
I would say bounce back year for Pittsburgh.
They always on quarterback, and it depends.
Who is the quarterback?
I think Justin Fields is the better quarterback.
Yeah,
but I think Russell Wilson probably starts.
But I would say that, but the Ravens are going to be dang good again. Probably the favorites.
Oh yeah, the Bengals.
The Bengals are bouncing back. The Browns spend a lot of money and they got a lot of talent.
Yeah, I mean, if Deshaun, it really comes down to how good is Deshaun Watson this year and how good is Justin Fields and or Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
I think I would lean Penn State, but again, that number out there is pretty amazing that Mike Tomlin has never had a losing year.
Yeah,
which means it gets you to 9 wins.
That's right.
9
It gets you to 9, and
I feel like Penn State 9-3 is where we sort of project them.
yeah, it's
Maybe
probably,
10-2.
Like most good 4 downs questions, probably a tie. I am going to go the Steelers, though. I'll take the Steelers over Penn State.
I am going to take. I think I'm going to take the Steelers as well. 10-7 may win it versus 9-3. Steelers over Penn State. You?
I'm going to lean Penn State, but I think it's probably 9-9.
Yeah, probably close.
Third down.
Okay, what happens first? James Franklin coaches for a national championship at Penn State, or J.J. Redick coaches for an NBA championship with the Lakers?
I'll definitely go James Franklin here because, like most coaches that coach for LeBron, Redick won't make it long enough to coach for a championship.
Ooh, it's a big hire for Rob Pelinka because it's really going off the grid. And if it doesn't work out, I think Pelinka loses his job.
Yeah, well.
And I wasn't here when you guys talked about this last week. What was your reaction to JJ?
By the way, J.J. Redick is 40 today. I meant to bring that up.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons I got him in here.
So JJ is 40 years old. And don't you feel like, did they hire J.J. Redick also to be the guy to transition through LeBron James? Is that what they did?
Probably so, but the fact of the matter is if J.J. Redick is not co-hosting a podcast with him, he doesn't get this job.
Right.
And it goes back to, you're like, if this guy didn't play at Georgia Tech, would he get the Georgia Tech job?
Exactly.
The answer is no. I think J.J. Redick has got a brilliant basketball mind and can end up being a good coach, but I just don't know. I just think it's so risky.
You're hoping he's going to be Steve Kerr.
Well, you're hoping he's going to be Steve Kerr. Now, Steve Kerr did have the benefit that was getting built, and they had pieces in place. But we're going to know how much control J.J. Redick really has because if they draft Bronny James, he's got no control.
Oh, yeah. You'll know that in the draft, right? If you see Bronny James, LeBron's running everything.
I don't see a world where James Franklin plays for a championship, and in the NBA, you get a piece here, a piece there.
Yeah.
So I would go J.J. Redick.
It's probably the better bet, J.J. Redick. I'm just going with history. And I don't think James Franklin will either. Neither would be my answer here.
Yeah, I would go J.J. Redick as well.
Fourth down.
Lionel Messi, 37 years old today. He's had a pretty good 37
I would say.
Better career, ultimately, Lionel Messi or Lionel Richie?
I mean, underrated career for Lionel Richie, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of number ones. A lot of number ones.
Does he write songs? LT Rockstar know this more that other people sing that he didn't sing?
Probably.
Yeah, I don't know that, but
I would
Messi all
say.
the way.
But, not only that, I think, American Idol, what was he probably making, 15, 20 a year for that? I mean.
All the way back to the Commodores, the Great Brick House. He sang on that. Easy Like Sunday Morning.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few that has a great career with the Commodores, with the group, and then breaks off solo, has a great career solo as well.
But Lionel Messi is probably the greatest soccer player of all time.
Does Messi have a dancing on the ceiling rock star in his career?
Does Richie have a World Cup champion?
That's what I'm saying. Dancing on the ceiling, to me, is Lionel Richie should demand that song be retracted.
If I included Lionel James with Lionel Richie, a combo.
Little Train?
Yeah.
Loved his career.
I'm still going to go Messi here.
San Diego Chargers?
Yep.
Yeah.
For Lionel James?
Yeah. Still going to go Messi.
I'm going to go Messi as well. And that is 4 downs. Brought to you by our friends at Slice.
Yeah, make sure you get into one of those 5 locations for lunch or dinner, from the Soul Pie, the Wing and a Prayer, the Hot Mama. You're going to love it. It is Slice.
Steve-O joins us next. He's coming to town. We'll tell you more about Steve-O coming to town, and we relive a little Jackass days. I think I had to explain to Taylor who Steve-O was earlier.
I can believe that. We had to explain to her who Popeye was while you were gone.
She's 24. Popeye a long time ago. Steve-O not as long ago. Some crazy stuff Steve-O's done. He rejoins the show in the next segment that's being brought to you by our friends at Odie's. Man, what a great neighborhood bar in 2 locations.
Yeah, for lunch or dinner, enjoy some of the great food from Rodney Davis. He's been doing it for over 33 years now, from the award-winning wings, delicious burgers, my personal favorite, that Diablo sandwich, ice-cold beer buckets, full of the Bud Light. 2 locations, the original in Crestline, where we do trivia every Wednesday night, and the newest location in Edgewood. Get in, see Will Haber and that great staff. It's Odie's Tavern.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter @ScottForresterTV.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
For a great experience in golf, go to Bent Brook, just off I-459 in the Birmingham area. You've got 27 holes where you can play your 18 holes 6 different ways. Open 7 days a week with 5 sets of tees that makes golf enjoyable for any level golfer. You get complimentary GPS on every golf cart, and the AU Victory bent grass greens play as pure as any in the area. Bent Brook continues to improve with upgraded greens and redesigned holes. Book that next tee time right now. BentBrook.com. BentBrook.com.
You never know what we're up to here at The Next Round. The easiest way to stay in the know with our antics and adventures is to follow The Next Round across all social media platforms at Next Round Live on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Whether it's Dunaway sleeping in the studio, Tim and Lunceford breaking down the latest movie release, or Game Day Chronicles, we are here to keep you updated on the latest sports news while, of course, having just a little bit of fun. Follow at Next Round Live across all platforms to join in.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about my friends at Michelson Laser Vision, located conveniently UAB Highlands. Almost 20 years ago, I went in for the procedure. Only took 12 minutes for both eyes. When I went in, I had 20/200 vision. I was legally blind. Now I have 20/15 vision, still 19 years later. Make the call today. Schedule a hassle-free consultation. 969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, Michelson Laser Vision. Make sure you tell them the Next Round sent you. 969-8100 or MichelsonLaserVision.com.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or the Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Final hour of the show, always brought to you by the wonderful folks at Champy's, world-famous fried chicken, champyschicken.com. I didn't stop by Champy's on the way back from the beach this weekend because traffic was its usual self, and we got off and went through Columbiana and Chelsea and that way back to my house there, or we had planned on stopping at Champy's for lunch. So you do it on your way to or from the beach, I-65, when traffic allows, Alabaster exit. Or if you're in the area, it's a destination lunch place, Champy's world-famous fried chicken. Steve-O of Jackass fame coming to the comedy club Stardome. We'll tell you more about his event, and he'll join us here momentarily. While we wait on Steve-O, what the hell did you guys do to college football while I was gone? The battle of the concessions and bragging rights went on. If you did not pay attention last week, Tulane started it off. Tulane came with the cheapest beer in college football. Next day, in-state, Louisiana Lafayette came with actual cheapest beer in college football. $2 a beer for a Busch Light inside the stadium.
Nice.
Okay.
I love it.
Then off of that, here comes Mississippi State jumping into the mix. Mississippi State goes, the best cheese in college football. Oh, I skipped one, didn't I? BYU jumped in after that with the coldest milk, chocolate milk in college football. Coldest chocolate milk in college football. Then Mississippi State did the greatest cheese in college football. And then Washington State clapped back over the weekend and said, no, we've got the best cheese in college football. A lot of bragging rights about not winning championships.
That's right. Nobody's
going on in college football.
Nobody's showing trophies.
By the way, if your cheese is in a can,
it looks like cat food.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know that was cheese.
I bet our next guest has eaten cat food before.
Oh, no way. Has he?
Comedy Club Stardome tonight, 444-0008, stardome.com, 7:30 show. Our friend Matt Cassio, the Cassio Kid, opening up.
Is he really?
For Steve-O tonight. We welcome on Steve-O again. Steve-O, the first time I interviewed you, 2003, La Vila in Panama City, you and Wee Man. You have changed a little bit over the last 20 years. Congratulations first on your sobriety, man. That is incredibly awesome. Can you take us back to that moment where you said enough is enough, it is time for me to get sober? And how difficult and rewarding has that journey been?
Well, first off, thanks, man. I appreciate it. It was actually my buddy Johnny Knoxville who decided enough was enough. And he organized an intervention, showed up with 8 dudes, and, let me know that I was going to a psychiatric ward for a psych evaluation. It's basically California's 5150 law, where they can lock you up against your will. So they did that, and I was just in the psych ward long enough and for the fog to clear just a little bit. And I realized, it was time for me to do something, and that was now 16 years ago. So thank you, man. Everything's better sober for me.
I mean, it's really incredible. And again, I would echo Lance, and I know Jim would too, in telling you congratulations on that.
Were you mad at him first for trying to do that? Was there initial anger at him?
It was kind of a typical intervention with the defiant addict. I was, I don't know, but ultimately, I understood why they were there. And since then, I've thanked him every year.
Wow. Like you have the anniversary of it? You thank him on the anniversary of it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
You mentioned Johnny Knoxville, and you guys are synonymous with Jackass, but I didn't realize, your skateboarding, and I guess his too, kind of led to the stunts you were doing that actually led to Jackass. So should we actually credit you with creating Jackass?
No, not at all. Knoxville was never much of a skateboarder, which is why every time he got on a skateboard, it was so epic. Yeah, it was catastrophic slams every time. And it was skateboarding that brought us together. We were part of a magazine called Big Brother, which was a skateboarding magazine that was just particularly naughty. I don't know that you credit anybody with starting Jackass. I mean, the people who get the credit are Johnny Knoxville, Jeff Tremaine, and Spike Jones. They're the ones who went into the pitch meetings. But I'd say all of us were doing that stuff in our own right, organically. So I think everybody kind of came up with the idea individually, and then we were all brought together.
Steve-O of Jackass fame with us at the Comedy Club tonight.
Yeah, 444-0008, 205-444-0008, or stardome.com. One show tonight, 7:30.
With the proliferation of social media and how easy it is to watch videos of things like you guys used to do you think in today's society Jackass would flourish or get lost in the mix?
Such a great question, man. I think... Man, I wouldn't want to gamble on it. That's for sure. I think having come up at a time when, when there was no such thing as high-speed internet or YouTube, you couldn't, not everybody had a video camera in their pocket with the ability to edit it. It would be a lot more competition now. I don't know. I believe it would be a lot more competition. It would be a lot more difficult, but that I would have proven to be such a persistent bastard anyway that I think I would have found my way.
But I I think a lot of what you see on TikTok or Chive TV or stuff like that is because of them.
Oh,
right?
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
like I mean, people were going to end up doing dumb things anyway, but I think you guys popularized it.
They call it Chive TV because they didn't want to pay these guys. It should be Jackass TV, and they should have paid these guys.
They call it F around and find out, too.
Yeah, I mean, I think all those things, a lot of those things are because you guys kind of popularized them on MTV.
I think that there's some extent to which Jackass is culturally significant, and a lot of it's just kind of basic, humanity. Like humanity loves the misfortune of others.
Yeah, that's true.
We grew up on some great 80s movies, and you can make an argument that Back to the Future is one of the greatest 80s movies ever made. Did your career actually start because of that movie?
It definitely had some influence, man. Within 20 minutes of walking out of that first movie, I found my first skateboard. I went to my first skateboard. I knew where one was. And, skateboarding really it was the beginning of everything. So since Back to the Future inspired me to skateboard, I would say that that marked the beginning.
Now,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, you might not have gotten a degree from the University of Miami, but is it true you learned how to jump off roofs while you were missing class down there in Coral Gables?
It wasn't necessarily while I was missing class. I did most of my jumping off roofs, in the middle of the night while drunk or doing other things with my friends. But yeah, certainly that was. When I was dropping out of the University of Miami, I was determined to use a home video camera to make a career as a crazy stuntman, and that was like my first thing was roof jumps.
I may have asked you this last time you were on, but my memory fades me at times. This one stunt you wish you had back that you didn't do, that you did and you wish you hadn't have done it, and is there still one out there that you want to try? Even as we get a little bit older.
Yeah, I've got some things that we're working on putting together at the moment that are utterly terrifying, and I feel compelled to go through with them. I'll be discussing those things tonight for sure at the club, as well as the most serious regrets that I have.
Okay. All right. That's part of the show tonight.
Can't wait to see that at the Stardome tonight.
Yeah. Tell them again.
Yeah, 444-888. That's 205-444-0008 or stardome.com. One show, 7:30 tonight.
I grew up in a military community, and all the kids, they would come, they would be there 3 years, and then they would move around. And a lot of them, by the time, like I was a senior in high school, they've been 2 or 3 different cities. That's nothing compared to your childhood. I've seen kids bounce around. You grew up all over the world, literally, did you not?
Yeah, I grew up in 5 different countries. I was born in England, spoke my first words in Brazil, attended nursery school in Venezuela, kindergarten in Connecticut in the U.S., and then early grade school in Miami, and then back to England for most of the rest of all the way through high school.
Were your parents on the run from the drug cartels? I mean, why did we move so much?
My dad was a corporate guy, so I was a corporate brat. Dad worked for multinational corporations.
Okay. So English, Spanish, Portuguese, you are trilingual, right?
I spoke 3 languages by the age of 3. And forgot 2 of them by the age of 5.
that'll happen to you.
At least you had it for a minute, though.
Well, yeah, and they do say that learning multiple languages as an infant develops more of your brain.
Okay, so
I suppose that that's why I maybe don't have as much brain damage. I don't know.
So people probably don't realize you've been doing stand-up since 2011, but people that just recognize you from the stunt, skateboarding, Jackass, how do you implement Jackass-like stunts into stand-up? What can we expect tonight?
The style of comedy that I've developed over these last 11 years. Actually, it's been more than 13 years now. I call it show and tell. So I bring content that is not allowed to be shown for various reasons, really anywhere. And I make a wildly inappropriate, kind of too hot for TV and YouTube, type explicit show, and I tell the stories which are illustrated by the footage. So it's a multimedia show, and it's very naughty by design.
We began the interview talking about your sobriety, and I see the ink right there by your heart of your shepherd, one of your rescues.
Yeah.
I'm a huge dog guy too. But not only that ink, did you recently get some new ink on your forehead?
I sure did, man. I got it was a silly idea I've had for a long, long time to get a penis tattooed on my forehead.
You too?
I got it right over here over my eye. The joke is, just that it's only to find out how long I last before I get it lasered off. This laser tattoo removal is really pretty effective these days. And my buddies have bets on how long it'll last. I couldn't really guess myself, but everybody's convinced I'm going to keep it for 5 years to forever.
Okay.
And so far I kind of like it, I've carved out a unique place in my life where I can walk around with tattoos like that, and and it doesn't really affect me too much, and that's just an interesting thing.
Yeah, it is. All right, Steve-O tonight, Comedy Club. How do they see him?
Yeah, 205-444-0008. That's 205-444-0008. One show tonight, 7:30, with our old colleague, Matt Cassio, the Cassio Kid, opening up.
Steve-O, great to talk with you again. We appreciate the time once again, and good luck on the show tonight.
Hey, man, thank you guys so much.
All right, buddy, take care. Steve-O with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. I
was more concerned about him riding the ostrich or the turkey that was on his left bicep.
Literally comfortable in his own skin.
First shirtless guest in the history of the show is what I was about to ask. I think that is right. I don't think we've had a shirtless guest on video before.
I think he was in his RV, the little podcast RV he does.
Yeah, it appears.
A cool sign behind him. I don't know if anybody saw that.
I did not see that. No,
I didn't see that.
Oh, good. Well, you'll probably
That's
hear
like
about it in the chat room.
fourth time I've had the opportunity to interview him, but I've never seen him stand up, and he's been doing it a long time now. Have you seen it, Rocky?
No, I mean, it's a lot of stunts. I mean, he'll do a bunch of his stunts, too.
Well, he went to clown college like our friend T.J. Miller.
Yep.
Yes.
Look at little T, historian of the show. Luganville in the hot tub was shirtless. I forgot about Luganville in the hot tub.
That's right.
I interviewed Bruce Pearl shirtless once when he was the Tennessee coach. We were, Herb Winches and I were down poolside,
right?
Yeah, poolside at SEC meetings in Destin. And he walked by and we're like, Coach, you mind jumping on us? No, not at all. You know, Bruce is. And he just sat down in his swimsuit.
Yeah, he's gone to a game shirtless.
I know. Yeah. I mean, he was not worried about it, I promise you.
Bob says, I bet Tiger King in prison.
Potentially was shirtless.
Maybe.
Yeah, we could not see him. That was over the phone. Yeah.
Probably
Definitely sleeveless.
Yeah.
Probably had a T-shirt on and no pants.
Potentially.
In prison at that point. Interesting. Shirtless guest. Small list on the show. Steve-O at the top of that on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. Glad to have him with us. Glad to have the fine folks at Precision Sports. You heard LT earlier in the show admit he doesn't play pickup basketball anymore because he's afraid of injuries. If you are still out there grinding it out as a weekend warrior and you sadly get injured, our friends at Precision Sport can get you back to work. They've got great locations from Jasper to Alabaster and everywhere in between. Alabaster is where I go. That's my home location for Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. 205-512-3885, 512-3885. PrecisionSportsOrtho.com/2024. Part of the great Brookwood Baptist Health family. They like to remind you all the time that orthopedic care is better together. And I'm telling you, no matter your age, they diagnose the problem, they treat the problem, and they help you in rehab as well. It's the great folks at Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. 205-512-3885, precisionsportsortho.com/2024. You're chuckling.
No, I'm just getting a lot of text about the sticker on the refrigerator. I didn't even notice it. Did you notice it, Rocky?
See that.
First thing I noticed.
It was really?
It was like he knew what he was doing.
All right, so when the preview shot popped up, Dunaway was running through the cheeses and all that stuff, and the preview popped up, and I thought...
Well, I was looking for the tattoo on his head.
Well, I was unaware that even existed until you brought it up, but the preview popped up, and I'm like, oh, good, we're Dunaway's into something because Steve-O's still got to get his shirt on and get ready for the shot. And then, no, he just sat there with his shirt off. He was fine. He was good to go. So I was thrown off from the very beginning, Rockstar.
Did not see the
I did not see the
sticker.
sticker.
Yeah. Well, I have a habit of getting to guests too soon lately. Like while you guys were gone, Chris Marler joined the show, and I punched him up 15 minutes ahead of time because it looked like he was ready to go.
He was just listening to the show?
He was not. No, he was trying to get his shot right, and he was going to go change and take off what he had on and put on something else.
But you threw him right on?
And I said, hey, you just want to go now? And he said a comment that I don't think he wanted to go over the air.
Yeah, I think the tattoo is more prevalent than it. I think our lighting, Scott, was a little off where the angle was.
Well, because of the angle of his head, and he also had glasses on.
I never saw the tattoo. He just described what it was.
It's a Post Malone tattoo. I think Post Malone did it.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I laughed more at Rockstar. Say, you too?
It's basically animated junk on his head.
I've always wanted a tattoo on my face of this.
Yeah. Oh, Scott's got photos of it.
Here's him getting it put on.
Yeah.
Is Post Malone giving it to him?
It appears that is the case. I did not. I mean, I knew Post Malone had a lot of tats. I did not know he was an actual artist, Scott.
That is Post Malone's work there. I've blurred it on that picture on the bottom left there.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's
I wouldn't have if it had been more visible in the shot that we just had on for 12 minutes.
Yeah, I would go ahead and tell you that blur.
I can show it to you unblurred.
Blur some of my pictures. You made Steve-O look younger there. That forehead's tight now.
Well, if you go see him tonight, you're going to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be, and I'm sure it gets referenced.
Yeah.
Have you? I think you've said you've been part of an intervention, right?
Oh yeah. I had to lead an intervention.
Ooh, it's going to be tough. Yeah. Have you been in one?
And this was bad. It was.
I have not.
The friend that was on heroin.
Oh my God. Did it?
He's doing good.
Yeah. So it stuck.
Yeah, I mean, it took a while.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was one of those defiant, I don't have a problem, and I'm like, you're in bed, and it's 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And you probably don't even know what time it is.
You haven't, when's the last time you showered? I mean, it was one of those.
Right. How many did you have with you?
Oh, there was, I didn't know I was leading until we got there.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I think I remember that part of the story.
His siblings put it together, and then we get there, it's probably, 10, 15 of us, and they were like, hey, can you do this?
Maybe we should have planned this before we got here.
Like when I go, do you have 4 downs every day? They're like, hey, can you lead the
after Jim and Steve's 4 downs?
But look, if there's someone in your life that is struggling like that, it's worth getting out in front of, because that guy, he probably would be dead.
Saved his life.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is
and I know it saved my buddy's life.
Yeah, if someone loses their life untimely, and you look back and say, that could have been averted, but I just didn't want to take the step. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna regret that. Obviously,
you're afraid of the reaction. Nick Saban talks about somebody should have taken the keys away from Henry Ruggs out in Las Vegas that night, but nobody was his good enough friend to take the heat to do something that would make Henry Ruggs pissed off at you. But he did it. If you'd have done it, then he would have been in a much better situation. Steve-O probably wasn't happy when they were doing it. But as he says thank you every year on the anniversary.
That's pretty cool.
Said every aspect in his life is better now that he is sober. And Forrester over there, and big special thanks to Forrester and Rocky for helping out on these mental health podcasts, because I do think they're super important, because I get feedback every time we release one from somebody that I've never even met before or talked to. But there is a new one that will drop after the show today. Dr. Brett McCabe, sports psychologist right there on site for the University of Alabama Athletics. We've got some special guests and really cool stuff. So please check that out if you can.
25 minutes. I mean, they're not like long, deep dives. 25-minute podcast.
And the week that you guys were on vacation, we played a couple of snippets when he talked about anxiety, and just the two sound bites we played from those on the show helped me about the anxiety. Just little 60-second sound bites.
Oh yeah.
So imagine how much 25 minutes could help you. As a guy who's never been to therapy, it's good stuff. You get that on our YouTube channel at Next Round Live, and go check that out. Little T and Forrester sends out a link. You can get that and go back and watch the other ones. New one dropping a little bit later on today. Show being brought to you by our friends at Champies. But before we go to break, Rockstar, I'm going to pronounce his name Olivier Roux. He is from Quebec. Before you show the picture, Forrester, at the age of 8, he was 6 feet tall.
It's a tall 8-year-old.
Boy, it is.
In 6th grade, he was already 7 feet tall. What sport do you think he plays?
Well, I would hope basketball.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, we were at the we'll call it the Say Hey Classic now with the Giants and the Cardinals Thursday night at Rickwood, and there is a player on the Giants roster, a pitcher, a righty, that's 6'11".
Oh, wow. And standing on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, monster.
So 7 foot in the 6th grade. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the guy in front of us says he's the tallest guy in Major League Baseball, which I believe at 6'11".
I think Randy Johnson was 6'10". I will say now that you said this, it can't be basketball.
It's got to be basketball.
It is basketball.
Okay.
Olivier Roux is going to be the tallest player in college basketball next year. He is 7'7" in this video. He's grown 2 more inches as he heads to Florida to play for the Gators, so we'll get a big dose of him against Auburn and Alabama.
Oh, I can tell he's going to be Nick Castleton was that just nonstop motor that was just one of those obnoxious guys to play against. This guy's going to drive people crazy.
7'9". He's grown
That's
2
crazy.
inches since graduation. IMG is where he went from Quebec.
It looks like he's got a little athleticism.
He's got some meat on the bones, too. Like, I mean, you remember Sean Bradley.
Like, he doesn't even have to jump the
No,
dome.
that was at 12. This is at 16. So now I think the 12 was not a 10-foot goal.
Well, he ain't jumping a whole lot to dunk on the 10-footer. Yeah.
But the 9-foot goal is like we were playing Nerf basketball.
It really was back in the day.
Crazy.
But you remember Sean Bradley and Manute Bowl and Taco Fell and all those guys. They didn't really have a whole lot of meat on the bones. That guy looks a little bit thicker at his height than what those guys.
290.
I mean, that's not a ton of weight, though, at 7'6".
No, but that'll still work.
Yeah.
I bring this up, though. Zach Edey is being projected now, latest NBA draft, to fall to 17th in the draft to the L.A. Lakers.
Well, he doesn't shoot from the outside. Well, would you want him, first of all, Zach Edey?
It has nothing to do with offense. They're saying they're worried about him defensively, that they may have to play a gimmicky defense because if anyone has to switch on the outside with someone, he is not good on man-to-man defense, that anything away from the rim, that they may have to leave him down low around the rim as a rim protector and do a gimmick. They were calling the gimmicky defense, that he is slipping to 17.
Because correct me if I'm wrong, you guys play the Nuggets a lot, and in a man-to-man, he's going to be on
Jokic.
I mean, Jokic, right?
He ain't going to be able to cover Jokic.
You play Dallas, but I mean, that's who he's going to be asked to cover, right? He's going to be asked to cover Luka when you play Dallas, right?
A legit big that you want is Donovan Clingan. And I've heard he could go as high as Houston at number 3 right now.
And he beat
so
Edey
athletic.
Beat Edey in the national championship game, even though Edey had some good numbers.
Yeah, and I think Clingan's still one of these guys that can develop. I'm not going to say he's going to be, a guy that's hitting threes consistently, but if he develops a 15-footer, he's going to be dangerous.
By the way, as Markel points out in the mybookie.ag chat room, don't forget Edey's a Canadian national, so he and this kid will be on the Canadian national team for years to come.
Wow, 7'9", 7'4".
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have the Twin Towers like
Yeah.
we've never seen.
That'll be interesting. Okay, LT's got trash ready to go on the other side. Don't forget, a new Pennant Grace is live today and Thursday. Make sure you've got you followed the Pennant Grace on their social media, but a link at Next Round Live if you're watching us on YouTube. Set the alert so you know when they go live right after the show today. Josh and EG talking about the Braves winning the series against the Yankees this weekend. I wonder if they get to the big question whether or not Nacho Alvarez Jr. should be called up from AAA, where apparently the shortstop is killing it. That could be one of the topics on the Pennant Grace coming up later today. TK, Little T, has Uncorked, a new episode dropping later this week. All that at Disrupt the Media and on our YouTube channel at Next Round Live. We're back in a moment on TNR.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Golf season is here, and if you're looking for a great golf course with affordable rates, you need to check out the newly renovated Woodward Golf Club. Woodward Golf Club is a semi-private club with membership opportunities available, but is also open to the public. You can book tee times online at this hidden gem by going to golfwoodward.com. For only $195 per month, you can enjoy unlimited golf 7 days a week. Membership includes discounted cart fees, unlimited range balls, and the use of our practice facilities. For more information on memberships and the course, check us out online at golfwoodward.com.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to nextround.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Yeah, you should have owned a golf shop. That's what everybody does. I was telling friends in the studio here that I can't putt anymore. I was awesome. I was the best putter in my group last year. Cannot putt anymore. It's all mental. We got trash coming up in a second. If you're a fan of Yellowstone, you know the final season was broken to half, 5A, 5B. 5B still to come, about to drop soon. Kevin Costner addressed the rumor, is he in or out of the final, I think it's 5 episodes of Yellowstone coming up. Here's Kevin Costner over the weekend on his Instagram.
Hi, everyone. I just want to reach out and let you know that after this long year and a half of working on Horizon and doing all the things that's required and thinking about Yellowstone, that beloved series that I love, that I know you love, I just realized that I'm not going to be able to continue season 5B or into the future. It was something that really changed me. I loved it, and I know you loved it. And I just wanted to let you know that I won't be returning. And I love the relationship we've been able to develop, and I'll see you at the movies.
Yeah, so that's Kevin Costner there. You guys gave him the show a while back, right?
Yeah,
I watched the first episode.
Yeah, I watched the first 2 seasons, but it's been a while, and I thought it was really entertaining for the first couple of seasons. Him and Taylor Sheridan, the creator, obviously had creative differences, egos got involved, whatever, but that's what fell apart, and it was supposed to come back, a reboot with Matt McConaughey as the lead. But I heard that's kind of been sabotaged.
Yeah, if you'll remember, I watched the first episode, which was basically like a movie. It was like a feature film.
Really good.
And I came in and asked you to, the woman that is in there, does she play a prominent role? And they're like, oh, it only gets bigger.
Yeah.
And I said, then I am absolutely out. Could not stand her character.
As you get to season 5, you almost believe that she may be the main character at some point.
Well, apparently she will be now, right? So they've done half a season, and he's not going to shoot the second half, is what he's saying.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That is what we call a power play.
Yeah. We're going to rewrite some scripts.
Well, they're going to probably write him out like he got killed in the off season or something.
Yeah. Wow.
So 5 episodes left. That news from Kevin Costner over the weekend. And before we get to trash, the Ugliest Dog Award was handed out over the weekend. Took 5 tries, but this 8-year-old...
what kind is that?
I can't say it. It's
like a Pekingese.
That's exactly what it is.
Pekingese that they haven't washed, groomed.
Yeah.
It's got one of those sideways tongues that probably actually hangs like that.
Yeah, 8 years old. Wild Thing, Thang is the name of the dog. Wild Thing, and won the Ugliest Dog competition in his or her 5th try. Too much hair to know if it's a his or her.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to dig a little bit to figure that one out.
Yeah, no idea.
Yeah. 5 tries, 8 years old, Wild Thing's the Ugliest Dog. That gets us to trash. Brought to you by Mortgage Right. Hit the big button, Rockstar.
The moon is bigger than Earth. Surely it has to be. Because when you're looking at the moon from Earth, it's huge. But, it's so far away from us.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Hey, buying season, Mortgage Right here to help. They were veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. Call 205-900-7200 or online, mortgageright.com, MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. If you guys are flying, first of all, I get really anxious about flying, but if you're flying and then over the PA you hear, the pilot is dead, is that a problem?
Yeah, I really prefer them not to announce that. I just, let's let the co-pilot get her on the ground and then maybe ask for a moment of silence at that point. But if I'm in the air, I'd rather just not know.
Yeah, when I read this, I was blown away that they actually announced this.
Yeah.
But footage has been shared of the moment a pilot with the Egyptian airline Nesma announced the captain of the aircraft had died. Now posted on social media platforms, X and TikTok, video shows the interior of the plane, cabin of this Nesma Airlines flight NE-130 from Cairo, Egypt to Taif, Saudi Arabia. As the first officer declared over the PA, the captain had died.
Okay, so the first question that pops to mind for me is, I'm going to want to know, how did he die? Oh, do we have a mutiny on the plane here? Is somebody overthrowing?
Co-pilot killed him?
Yeah.
So
he wanted to be pilot really bad.
Told
Did he choke on the chicken I'm eating right now? What's happening?
The plane's going to be diverted. Now, the Airbus it landed safely 30 minutes later. Now, they say such incidents are very rare. It is not unheard of for a pilot of a commercial passenger jet to die in the cockpit. What is unusual is that you would actually announce this. You've got to land it anyway. Why add to everybody else the stress of everybody on board?
There's a reason we have a guy called the co-pilot, right?
Yeah.
Just in case something happens to the pilot.
Well, would it be worse or just as bad if they announced, does anyone have any flying experience?
Well, that's when
If so, please make your way to first class.
That's when my anxiety is going to hit.
Make haste.
Yeah.
We flew a really small plane to Alabama, Michigan back, Denard Robinson, when they played in Arlington, 2012, I think it was the year. And the guy that flew us, his son was the co-pilot, and his son said, I've got some experience. And, his old man at that point was probably close to 70. And I was like, well, if he has a heart attack in flight, will you be able to? He's like, yeah, I'm pretty experienced. I was like, have you ever flown by yourself? No.
Yeah. The key is, have you ever landed at that point? That's all I need to know. Have you ever had any landing
Well, then
experience?
the pressure of his dad dying in front of him.
Well, he's going to be very emotional
and
at that
then
point.
we're all back there, and then we're freaking out.
Yeah. But I'm with Jim. All you got to do is tell me I can get us on the ground safely. I don't care how you fly it, as long as you can land it.
Like, I've got zero flying experience. So I know some of you in the chat room have flying experience. I feel like the automatic pilot can do a lot of the stuff up in the air, right? Autopilot.
That's what I would imagine, yes.
But at some point, the human has to land the plane. Like the autopilot can't do the landing.
That's right.
So, I mean, you keeping us steady at 30,000 or 20,000 feet, I'm not really worried about that. That seems like you can, the autopilot can do that. I'm going to need to know if you ever landed one before.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about it. Wanting to talk to women, a man hatched a plan to soil their clothes with a mixture of his urine and flour so that he could have an opportunity to break the ice between them and him. Now, on June 20th, Tan Hao, 31-year-old Malaysian man, was fined $1,200 after he pleaded guilty to using criminal force on one of the women. Now, he followed a 26-year-old woman he was going up an escalator with around 8:30 p.m. on April 9th. He then squirted the mixture, which had earlier mixed in a small plastic bottle, on her dress as she was walking along a nearby overhead bridge. Now, instead of Stopping to talk to the woman after that, he walked past her. She initially thought that the mixture was bird droppings due to the smell, and the stain grew bigger when she tried to wipe it off with tissue paper.
No.
Now, the
worst biscuit recipe ever, by the way.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
Urine and flour.
Not gonna eat those.
Deputy public prosecutor said it was intended where he could, quote, create opportunities for him to talk to these ladies. Now, Tan admitted that he had done the same to 2 other unknown victims. Court documents did not state how the authorities managed to track Tan down before he was caught.
But so I have a problem with talking to women.
That's
breaking
right.
ice.
Yeah.
If I can just get their attention, flour and piss might be good.
Yeah, what could I do?
If I just squirted it on it and they noticed. But he said 3 times he still didn't talk to the girls. He kept walking past
He was
them.
1 for 3.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a real go-getter.
It's shocking you can't get a date, Rockstar.
So, police in India are investigating an incident that saw a horrified man wake up in a hospital to find he was, quote, tricked into a sex change operation as part of bizarre land grab attempt. This is one of the weirder stories we've had in trash in a while.
Talk about paying off a bracket challenge loss.
Now, the 20-year-old man accused another man of misleading him into believing he had an urgent medical issue that needed to be solved. After going to medical college, he was put under a knife by a team of trained doctors on June 3rd. Following the surgery, he woke up to find that surgeons had removed his genitals. And went on to say, quote, when I regained consciousness, I was told I had been changed from a boy to a girl. That's a deal breaker right there, my friend.
Boy. I don't think there's any going back either, is there? They don't sew that back on.
The afflicted man alleged that the incident was a culmination of a 2-year campaign of threats and harassment. They allegedly said that this guy told that he made get the procedure done, then told him he's going to have to live with him or he would be ostracized by friends and family. He was also allegedly threatened to shoot his dad and seize his share of the family land.
This little boy's a little gullible.
Yeah.
I think.
I'm not saying they can't reattach it, Brownie, but they're going to need a donor at this point.
Probably.
And that
so.
gets tricky.
Yeah. Wait for the right guy to die. Right?
Yeah, you might get a kidney out of somebody.
Yeah.
I don't think
I get that one.
Yeah, our buddy Ush will donate only so many body parts.
You know, when Steve-O was on earlier, you saw all of the tattoos across his body. We have a new world record. A Kansas woman set the new Guinness World Record for the most tattoos of the same musician on the body.
Is
not
that
quite the exciting world record here, but
is that Madonna?
That is Madonna. That is. It looks like Medusa.
Medusa on the right, Madonna on the left.
Left was pretty good work, right? Yeah. I'm not so certain.
So Tara Berry has been a fan of Madonna since 1983 when the pop icon put out her first hit, Borderline. She only started getting tattoos in 2016, at a time when the artist was actively looking for fans who had her tattooed on her bodies to appear in one of her videos. Tara had been wanting to do it for a while, and this gave her the extra incentive to finally go under the tattoo gun, but she ended up getting a whopping 18 tattoos on her body. That takes over Nikki Patterson, who had 15 tattoos of Eminem on her body. Now, these tattoos took 6 months, 110 hours, and just under $10,000.
Last time she felt like a virgin.
There's a toilet behind her.
Actually, it was a pretty good line, and Rockstar's right. Why do you do the selfie right there? That's the place you pick to do the selfie.
She could be in prison.
Well, it's like a public restroom.
Could be.
Yeah. That's a pretty clean restroom for a prison. I don't think they normally go tile.
I
tile
would say
walls.
she needs a new artist. Those are not the best renditions.
I mean, the one on the left, I immediately knew it was Madonna, but if you just popped up the one on the right, I would have no earthly idea.
Scary Girl.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
Like a Halloween theme blow pop commercial with Medusa.
Yeah, maybe so.
Those are snakes in her head. And that is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, if you're looking for a new home, Mortgage Right, they are here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or a seasoned home buying veteran, call them, 205-900-7200. Whether you're looking for your final home or your first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, call 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
In the final segment, Steve Sarkisian answers a question asked by Joel Clapp that is interesting, and we'll set the table for Tennessee-Texas A&M winner-take-all tonight at the College World Series. One more thing here in this segment. I think I remember correctly, you went and saw the new Bad Boys movie in theater, correct?
I did, yeah. A couple of 3 weeks ago, probably. Yeah.
Hanging around, number 2 in box office again this weekend. So it's been out 3 weeks now.
3 weeks, yeah.
3 weeks and still number 2 in box office. Pulled in another $19 million or so this weekend, U.S.
Very entertaining. If you like the first 3, you will like this one.
That's what I was going to ask. So it's entertaining. Will Smith and
Martin Lawrence.
Inside Out 2 is number 1 in theaters this weekend. That's the cartoon with the emotions, Rockstar?
It is. Amy Poehler is in it. I think Phyllis from The Office. She plays Sadness, I think.
Okay.
Is Stanley in it?
Lewis Black? No, Lewis Black plays Anger, which is shocker.
I'm not gonna be one of your emotions.
It's a good little flick. I mean, like, it's a great idea.
Did Cord go see it?
We still have not been to the theater to see a movie yet. I don't know.
Oh, you're not going to break that seal quite yet?
I think not until at least 3 years old. I mean, he can't even sit watching his own shows still.
LT clued me in that I was a little weird with a kid coming back on a flight. Where were we? We were coming back from somewhere.
We were playing peekaboo behind a seat when we were coming back from
Ocean City about a year ago, right?
City, yeah.
Okay, so there was a family next to us, and I didn't want to be the weird guy that would take a picture of a kid. But Cord's lookalike, I promise you, was next to us on the beach in the chairs. He had a long bill hat on, same skin tone and everything, looked exactly like little Cord. I wish I'd taken a picture now.
No, I believe you.
But I didn't.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy.
I wish you had.
Can you tell him to sit still? He looks like somebody.
What are you doing over there, buddy? Did you take a picture of my kid?
Well, you just can't take pictures on the beach anymore because swimsuits aren't what they were in the 80s. Yes. You look like you're taking a picture of somebody's wife or somebody's daughter.
Some guy's got to go double red flag on your head.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, one more segment to go right here. Brought to you by our friends at Champy's World Famous Fried Chicken. Always this hour, the final hour, brought to you by Sterling and the crew down there. He cooks that chicken to order. So it takes just a beat longer, but it's brined overnight, comes out piping hot, all the wonderful sides, best chicken fingers you're ever going to get, Mississippi Delta recipe tamales. It's perfect for a tailgate when we get to football season in 61 days, only 61 days away from football. ChampysChicken.com, the great location on Highway 119 in Alabaster, open over a decade now. He's been with us since day one as Champy's Chicken.
Never miss anything Auburn. Watch Village Vice at Wardam Pods on YouTube and listen wherever you get your podcasts.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for The Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. There is no better place to watch your favorite sporting events and enjoy great food than one of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons. The TVs are everywhere with your favorite sports, and the menu is second to none. From the great appetizers like the waffle cheese fries, to the Avery Island salad, handhelds like the all-new chicken bomber, bistro specialties with a special taste of the bayou, the amazing hand-patty burgers, the great po' boys, and the specialty drinks. Visit any of the 3 great Birmingham locations of Walk-Ons: Greystone, Stadium Trace and Hoover, and the brand new location in Trussville.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on The Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at The Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000.
Our friends at Lanyas Furniture believe in getting more style for less. Lanyas offers a great selection of furniture for your living room, bedroom, dining room, home office, and entertainment room, helping you elevate your home design and decor. Lanyas offers everything from vibrant outdoor furniture to breezy home accents. Everything you need to create your own sunshine sanctuary. Right now, you can save up to 10% store-wide, receive $300 in Lanyas sleep credits with select mattress purchases, and access special financing on tons of hot buys. Take exit 280 off the I-65 Hallmark Farms exit today to see what Lanyas has to offer you.
Hey, you. Summer's here. Time to get hot. And at New Balance Birmingham, that's just what we got. For a summertime vibe, see what's inside. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280, right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Back with you on the next round. Little college football discussion here. By the way, show number 731 today. 61 days till college football, a lot less. I mean, the week of July 17th, we're out in Dallas for SEC Media Days, so that's just a couple of weeks away. We wrap up the month of June this week here on the show, and our countdown continues, brought to you by MyBookie, with team number 12, one team every show for 40 days tomorrow. Today, earlier, it was Penn State at number 13 in our 40 and 40 countdown, voted on by 94 of you and us here on the show, and we do that countdown every year. We're to number 12, and later this week we'll be into our top 10, which is amazing that we're that close to football season. We talked recruiting earlier, another big weekend for Auburn and Alabama. Alvin Henderson flips from Penn State to Auburn. Auburn's a top 10 recruiting class right now under Hugh Freeze. Alabama, top 10 recruiting class under Kalen DeBoer right now. Four-star offensive tackle Micah Dubose, the latest to pick Alabama over the weekend, and more recruits expected to come both ends of the state a little bit later on this week. But in college football, Joel Klatt is doing his regular summer tour, the Fox Sports analyst friend of the show, going around and talking to some of the most important coaches in college football. He asked Steve Sarkisian how sustainable it is of him calling plays and being the head coach at this level at Texas. How do you think Sark answered? Does he think it's sustainable, or do you think he'll have to give it up at some point?
I think it is sustainable. I think he's going to embrace, hey, look, my strength as a coach is calling plays.
I think he said it's sustainable, and if I'm a Texas fan, that's what he's really known. That's the whole reason I hired him. It's like hiring Gus Malzahn. When Auburn hired Gus Malzahn, they hired him because they thought he was this innovative offensive play caller. Same with Hugh Freeze. I think Auburn fans were puzzled that Hugh Freeze didn't call plays last year. Now he says he's going to call them this year. That's the whole reason I hired you.
Yeah, I want Lincoln Riley calling plays.
Right.
Like, yeah, I'm with you 100%. Like Texas, I mean, go back to when they hired Sark. Why did they hire Sark? Why? They didn't hire him because he was good at Washington and USC. He got fired.
Best play caller in college football.
Bingo. He was calling plays at Alabama, and Alabama's offense was unstoppable.
That's what I never understood about Gus when he was at Auburn.
That's right.
Back and forth and calling plays. The only reason you're the head coach, you're an unbelievable play caller.
It's the only reason we really wanted to.
I want Lane Kiffin calling my plays. I want Josh Heupel calling my plays. I mean, these guys, I mean, that's where they earned it.
But it does come with a challenge a little bit when you're a head coach. I mean, it is not the easiest thing in the world to do is to call plays. I mean, you guys famously remember Mike Gundy, when the defense was on the field, used to go to the bench and have his back to the field. I mean, he was coaching one half of the game, basically.
Yeah.
So there are some challenges to it.
He does say sustainable. I'm with you guys. I want him calling plays. But, history is against him. I did not know this. According to On3 Sports, only 3 coaches in college football have called their side of the ball and won a national championship while they were the primary play caller for their side of the ball.
Spurrier is the easy first answer.
Spurrier is the earliest, not the earliest to do it, but one other guy did it after Spurrier.
Well, only one person.
Two other people have done it after
Since
Spurrier.
2 people have done it.
But Spurrier is one of those guys, his only national championship. And remember, he would have a loss that his team shouldn't have lost every year. They kept
I'm going to assume Jimbo Fisher is going to take credit for 13.
Jimbo Fisher is not on the list.
Boy, I thought he was calling plays.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
I did too.
I don't know who's calling plays.
I did too.
You said primary side of the ball, which hints that there might be a defensive guy on there,
There is
too.
one, yeah.
But boy, I'm trying to think of a defensive play caller that won a national championship.
Actually, the last coach to do it, according to On3 Sports. Now, I'm with you. I think Jimbo Fisher was the play caller in 2013.
Yeah. It's not Kirby. I mean, Kirby was not calling defensive signals.
It was not. It was Pete Carroll.
Okay. He was calling the defense?
Yeah.
I never realized that.
He may have given it up at some point, but he was calling the defense.
Yeah.
That's 20 years ago.
The other was Tom Osborne, who won 3 in the 90s.
Yeah.
And he was the primary play caller for Nebraska.
It seemed like it was a little more common back then. Like Bobby Bowden, I think, was calling plays for Florida State, or at least he seemed to be a lot back then. I think Switzer was a lot for Oklahoma. So it seemed like it was a little more prevalent back then.
Yeah, but I guess they were not, because
I guess
Bobby
not.
Bowden won national championship. Switzer did not. Jimbo had to be the play caller in 2013.
It seemed like he was, but
when I have these stats, and then you guys give me an obvious one that make me second guess my stats. So I say this, and I've said this for 15 years of us being together now. The thing I failed most at SAT and ACT was reading comprehension. So I'll have to go back and double check that stat.
Well, I just wonder if anybody else has got the label, if they get the credit for it. Like Pete Carroll, if he's listed as co-defensive coordinator, then you would give him credit as a head coach. But if Jimbo Fisher was just the head coach, and I forgot who at least the label offensive coordinator was in 2013.
That's what I'm trying to find. I know, obviously, Jeremy Pruitt was the defensive coordinator. I do remember that part.
Like Lane Kiffin,
here it is.
To me, calls plays.
It says Jimbo Fisher was offensive coordinator. I mean, I don't want to split hairs here. Randy Sanders was still on that staff, so maybe as the QB's coach, he was calling plays. I don't know. But Jimbo was listed as offensive coordinator.
If he's listed as offensive coordinator, he's offensive coordinator.
That's right. I'll go double check that and give you an update on that tomorrow. It's not easy to do.
It's not.
But the only reason I have Sark is I want him to call plays. The best play caller in college football right now is Sarkisian.
I mean, he was at Alabama, and I guess you would still say he is. He does stuff still at Alabama, at Texas, that people rave over. Again, I mean, it's the whole reason he hired him. You would not have hired him if he said he was. I'm going to come to Austin, but I don't really want to call plays. You'd be like, whoa, now wait 1 second.
Yeah.
So now but was he calling plays at USC? He was, right?
Had to be.
As the head coach? Sark.
When he was that coach,
So, I mean, it has not worked for him before. I don't know what.
I do think, like, watching Sark call plays back in the day and then watching how creative he's gotten, he's definitely grown.
Oh, he has evolved.
Yeah.
But there again now, that personnel he had in Tuscaloosa was special. He wasn't calling plays for lesser personnel.
I watched a little bit of that game, first quarter of that game last night.
Against Ohio State?
It was in my queue on YouTube TV. It must have aired on Saturday or Sunday. But I don't forget, I hit the wrong button and it popped up in my queue. And I was like, let me watch the beginning of this. Remember, it was in the end of COVID. Only 2 people came out, one from each side for the coin toss. Referee lowered the mask, explained the rules. So it was weird. But then I watched that first drive, which included a big third down to Jalen Waddle, who was making his first appearance on a hobble. And
that's when he was limping.
Yeah, Mac had to shuttle it to get the first down. But ended up leading down to a touchdown.
Devontae Smith could have had 300 yards in that game.
Easily. I mean, he goes at halftime with a broken hand, and I think had 250 in that game already or something.
Najee Harris, so good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tremendous offense.
But, back to something you said with everything around in Tuscaloosa, and I don't think anybody has gotten more out of being pulled on a staff than Lane Kiffin and Steve Sarkisian.
Those are the two,
and how they've been able to rehab those images under Nick Saban. I think a lot of it was very good play callers, but they could also be super aggressive with the playmakers they had.
That's right. And you had a coach that wants you to be aggressive. That's one thing about Nick Saban that I think a lot of people might misunderstand. He wanted his offensive coordinators to be aggressive at the right times. He wasn't the type to, like, don't put my defense in a hole. Like, once you got good field position, he wanted you to be aggressive. That was kind of his philosophy there.
We continue our question and answer here with the guys. You guys remember the Oregon basketball court, how ugly
Terrible.
it was?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, they redid it over the weekend. Do you think it is now better looking or worse than?
You asked, so the answer is probably worse. I don't think you could have made it worse.
Yeah, it was like sunburst of different trees and stuff all over the court. I think it's probably worse because Oregon likes to do gaudy.
There's the old one.
Yeah, you're right, sunburst. I didn't know what you meant by that, but you're right. The center looks like a sunburst, and then you see all the trees around the outside. Okay, terrible court.
So they've redone it to try to make it look better.
What is that?
There's the one at the bottom. It's trees again.
That's a bunch of ducks.
Trees in it. The duck is part of it there.
That is actually pulled back a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. They've toned it down a little bit, but still, as Forrester points out, still an ugly.
Yeah.
Rooted in deep in the woods, and it says deep in the woods, I believe, down at the bottom. But it does have some ducks on it.
I like if I'm an Oregon fan, I like more Donald Duck than like a real duck.
I agree. I'm assuming Matthew Knight is Phil Knight's son. Do we know that? It's his arena.
Oh, that's a great point.
And I don't know what he must have paid. That is a big name.
Or maybe Phil was like, Matthew, he was my seed. I'm going to shout out to my old man.
My seed.
Or maybe I need a tax write-off, and we're paying him a big salary. Lets him make his donation.
I've never heard of Matthew Knight.
I have not either. I'm going to Google Matthew Knight. But, have you guys ever seen a bigger name for an arena? It goes from top of the key to top of the key, Matthew Knight Arena.
I think the Mackey Center's got something like that.
Maybe so.
Yeah, weird seeing Oregon with the Big Ten logo in the lane there, which is what you have over there. All right, final thoughts on the deciding games tonight. You got a Game 7 in hockey. It'll either be one of the all-time great comebacks or one of the all-time choke jobs or both, depending on what happens here. If Edmonton's able to win, you get both. If Florida wins, I guess it will be neither one of those. Game 7 tonight, 7 o'clock on ABC, Edmonton and Florida for the Stanley Cup. Edmonton will be the first Canadian franchise to win a Stanley Cup since 1993 if they win it and come back from 3-0 down. First team to do that since 1942. Or Florida, down in South Florida in Miami would become the first time the Panthers have won the Stanley Cup if they win that, 7 o'clock on ABC. Meanwhile, on ESPN at 6, it's an all-SEC national championship in college baseball. Here is Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello and A&M head coach Jim Schlossnagle
yes.
on Game 2 and playing one more to decide the title.
Yeah, it was an SEC war or just a postseason war. And, in that situation, if you had your druthers, you'd like to have the last at-bat because, the ninth inning is going to be full of drama. But I think our kids kept their composure in that ninth inning. I know it was an exciting win, maybe not the sexiest or whatever you want to call it, but there was a lot of teammates taking care of teammates, a lot of coaches picking up players picking up coaches with decisions and things like that. And obviously it's easy because the score is what it is, but I just felt like we were more true to who we were today in pregame, in the dugout, during the game. And again, it's easy to say that because we end up doing okay on the scoreboard, but I'd rather go into battle with that group the way they showed up today and hope they do the same tomorrow.
Close ball game. Just exactly what you'd expect with these two teams. To think you're going to roll right through it in 2 games that would have been nice, but it's obviously we get to play. We don't have to play. We get to play the last college baseball game of the season, and that's awesome.
It is awesome. Real quickly, off topic, do you think if you're Texas A&M, you're up 1-0, pop that back up, Forrester, just a still shot of the A&M coach. Do you have the uniform? This is the uniform I'm going to wear in Game 2, or this is the uniform I'm going to wear thinking that if we win the national championship, this is the uniform we're going to wear in that game?
Now, some of that's determined by whether I'm home or visitor, too, based on the color I can wear.
But I think going into it, after they get Game 1, I think that they believed, hey, we're going to get Game 2. And, through 6 innings, it looked like they had it. I mean, Tennessee, those bats were absolutely dead.
Yeah. Interesting, though, that if A&M wins it tonight, you want to know how good the SEC is? The last 4 national championships, if A&M wins, would be a combined 1-7 in the last 4 SEC tournaments. 1 win, 7 losses in their last 8 games at the SEC tournament if A&M wins tonight.
You remember old Gorilla Ball. So the most home runs in a season, 1997 LSU with 188. If Tennessee can go deep 7 times tonight, they'll break the record.
And I think
likely win the game.
That's still pretty amazing. They've got 182 when that was old Gorilla Ball back in the day.
I think it's the first team in NCAA history with 5 guys with 20 or more homers for the season.
Yeah.
I mean, they hit like nobody else.
You know where I heard that?
On the Zone last night.
On the Zone, ABC 30 through 40 last night.
Shout out Jeff Spiegel.
All right, that's our show today. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Don't forget a new Pennant Grace in this studio coming up here momentarily, live talking about the Braves all the time. It's our podcast twice a week, the Pennant Grace with E.G. and Ush. They'll roll in here live in a few minutes, and later on, Uncorked, Roll Tide Pods, War Damn Pods, and a lot more. This is the next round. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.